Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Rant and Bollox, our podcast. This is episode 21. We're a podcast that talks about what the hell we bloody well want, really. But it's mainly movies, TV, gaming, and tech. But how you doing, Paul?
I'm good. I've had a busy week. You've had a busy week.
Yep.
We're both getting excited for November. All the games are coming out. The good movies.
All the things.
Thor Ragnarok.
All the
it's so close.
Thor's so close. The Justice League's so close.
Oh, God.
We've been watching clowns. $1,000 phones have been announced. You know, it's been a busy couple of weeks.
Can I get on that right away? Because stupid Apple phone. Obviously, that's the biggest tech news.
Get on it. It's on the top of my list.
Is it true that the price is the same in pounds as it is in dollars?
It is almost that. In fact, I think it actually is. No. So it's not 1,000. Fuck, no, you might be right.
Because I think I saw someone tweeting being like, it would be cheaper for me to fly to America and buy it than it would be.
Oh, man.
Like,
I think you're right. I'm going to look it up now.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly what we do here at this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Alex does shit on the fly.
do shit on the fly. But I do know that in Canada, if you buy the 256 gigabyte version of it, it's $1,580 without tax.
Jesus.
So it's just like,
Mary and Joseph.
What is happening? And then the other big thing with the iPhone X is, yes, it's like edge to edge, because you got a new phone, you got the Galaxy 8 recently, and that edge to edge is proper edge to edge. It's really nice. Apple have got like this little black lip that sits over the screen. Have you seen it?
I have seen. I saw the video, and they have like, they're being pricks because they're releasing the 8 and then they're releasing the 10.
The 8 went on like sale. I think it's on sale now or something.
I think you get it in a bargain basement right now. Yeah.
No
two
one's
for
buying
a pound.
They're just like,
useless.
Why do I want this?
Yeah,
2 for a pound. That's exactly what it is. Sorry, I'm just looking through here. All right, UK. I've got to go into the UK Apple site and then do it.
Listen carefully. Listen very carefully. You can hear Al scrolling. This is the kind of feedback we give our audiences. This is why they tune in every week.
I've got
and this is why we do a podcast every 2 weeks.
In. Oh, good Lord.
We're getting busy for a reason, because next month is a big month for me, which I'll tell everybody about in November. But there's been a reason why things have been so slow lately. We haven't just been lazy shits.
Yeah. I just want to say I can confirm that, yes, it's £1,000, and that's for the lowest 64 gig. It's £1,150. I did not know that, so it is the exact same price in pounds.
Wait.
Dollars.
So no, it's not, because you said the iPhone in Canada at, what was it, 256 gigs?
Well, the Canada one, that's because our dollar's doing decent. Our one, so for the 256 in Canada, it's 1,580 before tax.
Right.
That version is £1,150.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like 1,000. Oh, okay, that's not so bad, but that's still going to cost 1,150 is about $1,800.
But if you do it from the announcement, and that's US dollars, so it's like, hey, we're selling this phone for $999, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that's dollars, and then in the UK it's £999. It's just that's crazy.
Yeah. Did they just not pay attention to the fact that there's more than one market? They just said, we're going to put all the pricing.
Here's the thing: people are in love with it. People will buy it. I don't think they have a problem with it. Like they've almost Apple, the way they've done it, they've almost made it a good thing. That it's they've spun it somehow that someone's like, it's the first ever $1,000 phone. You know.
Well, we didn't see it coming. They get rid of headphones, they get rid of earphone jacks, and now they've basically gotten rid of currency exchange. Like Apple, they always have to get rid of something with these phones.
Yeah, I mean, at least it will be on the shelves, and it's not like Nintendo. Take it off the shelves. Though, you know, Nintendo are selling the NES. Remember, we were joking about it for many podcasts that, you know, take it off the shelves because it's selling so well. They're making it again. They're going to put it back into production for next year.
Oh, that's probably a good idea, seeing as everybody wanted one and it made you money.
Wanted
you dumb
one, yeah.
Fuck.
But just going back to
a good idea. Let's stop making this thing, and then we'll just start making it again in 6 months when everyone bitches about it.
I think someone had some like strong words with Nintendo, and they were just like, "Are you insane? Like, it's just selling so well."
Yeah.
So is their mini SNES as well. So it's just like, why would you take it off the shelves?
Yeah.
And they were like, we only made 4, so we didn't realize. So, but yeah, that iPhone X, man, like, I just think it makes the iPhone 8, which I don't know why they skipped. They went iPhone 8 and then all the way to X, which is 10. So I don't know where the iPhone 9 is. And theoretically,
that's coming out
the
next
iPhone
year.
8,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to go back next year.
Back
and say,
one,
like, fucked
and then
up
1 to 11. So next year is going to be 9/11.
Oh, God. Released on 9/11.
Yeah.
It's just like, what was I going to say? The big thing for me, because Apple are like a super big design company and they have like quality products. It's like when you buy an iPhone, you're buying like a quality product that feels premium and everything like that. But then they've done this little design black lip up the top, so that sits over the content the whole time. So when you've got like a full screen image, you've just taken a photo, you're going to have this black lip on the left, always overhanging. And then I looked at the SDK. So SDK is like a development kit. So like if you want to make an app or something for the iPhone X, they give you a couple of guidelines and rules. And one of the guidelines is don't go over the lip on the side. So just put like a white bar. It's like, well, what's the fucking point?
What's the point of that? Yeah.
So when you scroll a website on the iPhone X sideways, like when it's on landscape, nothing will go over that side. It's only images. So they'll just have a white bar. It's just like, so you just cut off the screen then. I don't know. It feels like they were pressured by like Samsung Galaxy 8, like the one that you've got.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we need to get something going. They're using OLED for the screen, which is exactly what your phone's already got.
Oh, I know something about that. This is the first time all of their screens are going to come from one manufacturer.
Yeah. And I think it's Samsung.
And it's Samsung, yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. There's some funny memes online saying like, oh, we've got wireless charging. He's like, yeah, well, we've got that. And he's like, oh, well, we've got this really cool OLED screen. He goes, yeah, the company, Samsung, they make it.
Yeah.
We've got that. And then there was one other one, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, yeah, we've had that for a while as well. I think it was just edge-to-edge screen.
I don't see what's so appealing about this phone.
I think the only thing that's appealing is that, the only thing that's appealing is because it's Apple and their software, and like people have already invested in that ecosystem. People have got the apps and they've got iCloud and their things all synced on it, and then you've got Apple fanboys as well. Like Apple just have this like cult following, and people like it could be a fucking like brick and they'd still buy it.
Yeah, true. But it's got to be getting to the point now where you're kind of questioning what am I buying here? I'm paying £1,000 for a phone that's doing exactly what Samsung did a year ago.
And then the other thing they've got is this Face ID. So you put your face up to it and unlock the phone. It's like that's a bit of a security hazard, isn't it? It's just like you just get your phone taken off someone and then or taken from, and then they just shine it in your face and then they unlock your phone. So they did show that when your eyes are closed, it doesn't do that, but. What, you just have to close your eyes if someone's stolen your phone and you won't be able to see where you went.
I did see that all the memes that popped up because of that was just that Arya Stark's going to come and unlock everyone's phone.
That's hilarious. That's really good. Because during I don't know if you watched the presentation or saw some of the shots from it, but there's one where they were showing off the Face ID and they were showing how it 3D scans your face. Yeah. And then they had these 3D faces on the wall. It looked exactly like that dead wall.
Yeah, exactly.
From,
that's why everyone started sharing it out. It's like, come on, Apple, have some sense of where you are in the world.
If I were Apple, I would have got Arya Stark out on the stage to announce that part. I think it just would have made it like so awesome. But yeah. So that happens. $1,000 phone. I think we all knew it was coming. Apple are the only ones that can get away with it. I kind of hope it doesn't do well because. They need a bit of a slap around the face, and kind of like Android have been pressuring them for years now anyway.
Yeah.
And I think like the Samsung Galaxy 8, like when I used that phone, when you handed it to me, I was like, I really like that edge to edge, but they've done it properly. Like there's a little black bit at the top and bottom, but you can forgive that, and you kind of know like next year's is probably going to get rid of it. Whereas Apple's, it's like, why is this lip here? I would have just done a flush black. I would have just done a flush black bar along the top. And then your photos and everything would have like anchored to it. But it's like overhanging the screen. It's just really weird.
Yeah, it's like that's the one thing, like you said, Apple's based on, everyone has, a hard on for is, we design everything so it looks amazing, and it fits in a little sleeve packet, and you can touch it, and it's smooth, and it's crystal, and we don't just make black, we make cosmic black. It's like, you fucking idiots. Put a big sticker on the top left there. Look at that. That's stupid.
Yeah. There's people out there, they're waiting for, the new iMac Pro. They're waiting for it because it comes in space gray.
Yeah,
so the mouse is going to be space gray, and the keyboard. I've got to admit, I'm actually quite interested in the black keyboard, but I doubt they'll probably even sell it individual, because they'll probably be like, only when you buy a $5,000 iMac Pro. Yeah. But there are people out there who are like, can't wait to see that. Like, I'll go to the store just to see their space black. It's like, it's a fucking grey computer. It's metallic.
Yeah, it's like that's what Dell have been doing for 40 years. No one's paying attention.
They didn't even give it a name. It just said black.
Yeah,
you can have it in black or beige. Which one do you want? Hurry up. So, do you remember the times of beige PCs?
Oh, beige PCs. And that's when Apple. Apple were all crazy and like, oh, we're gonna make a see-through one, and you can have it in yellow and red and blue.
That's right. Let's do it see-through so you can see the components inside, so we can see how much we really are ripping them off.
That's another thing about Apple. It's all grey and black. Just put a colour in.
Well, they're starting to do like the MacBooks and stuff. You can buy them in gold, and like you can go rose gold in MacBooks now. So they're starting to do that a little bit. But I don't know. I kind of like the simplicity of the MacBooks. So I was away on the weekend, and my brother-in-law's got a HP Hewlett Packard PC laptop. He got it a year ago, or a year and a half ago. His battery's dead on it. He has to plug it in at the wall the whole time. He can't unplug the thing.
Yeah, it's a desktop now.
So that's a good it's a desktop. Yeah, that's a good example. Like, that stuff does happen to PCs, not all the time, but it does happen. And then I've got my 5-year-old MacBook Retina, and it's just, the speakers on it were better, and just like the keyboard just having that nice glow behind the keys. You do get some like good quality stuff from Apple, that's for sure.
That's true. But from now on, you get good quality stuff from Samsung, and they put an Apple logo on it.
And you can either buy an iPhone X, or you can get someone did the math. I mean, it's fairly easy math, I guess. You can get a Nintendo Switch, an Xbox One, and a PlayStation 4. You can get all three of those consoles, or you can buy an iPhone X. And to be honest, you can buy an iPhone X, or you can pretty much buy a MacBook.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like you're getting close to like having your own laptop.
Yeah.
So
I don't know the specs or anything, but I don't know if it's like faster than a Samsung Galaxy 8 or whatever, or any of that kind of stuff.
That's one thing. It's incredibly fast. They actually say it's the speed of it is up there with one of the MacBooks. Like an Intel like topped up one, but not like the 15-inch like beasts, but it's like up there with like a MacBook 13-inch or something. Apparently it's very, very fast, but the thing is, on an iPhone, most people are just like web surfing and downloading an app here and there. It's like, how much speed do you really need? Like the iPhone 7 that I have is plenty fast,
Yeah.
So but we might get into that territory in like because I know Apple, they want to develop their own CPUs for their laptops, because right now they have to obviously buy them off Intel. So eventually they want to actually just say, here's a MacBook, and it runs they call their processors like A11 and all that lot, like names. So it's going to run their processors. So apparently the new iPhone X is almost as powerful as like a MacBook range, like a mid-range. So maybe in a year or two, I can see them ditching Intel, unless Intel can fit their like 16 cores in the laptops.
Yeah.
But I mean, Intel have got to be doing stuff themselves as well, because they must get a lot of money from Apple. For Apple to say like, we're ditching Intel, we're going over our own processors, is like a huge thing. So
yeah, it's very hard. Like, you're specializing. Like, you can't just be like, oh, we're going to do this now and just jump into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been doing it for a while, but there's still, it's hard to come into like the desktop industry and do that. Like, if you if you can do that, Apple are absolutely, they're already laughing right now, but they'll be just laughing on the biggest mountain, because all the production costs they can handle. They wouldn't have to be like, Intel could just say to them, oh, it's going to cost you this much for these new chips, by the way, and they're like, shit, we have to pay this because we have to get these in here. Whereas when they do their own processes, their manufacturer costs will go down like dramatically, and then their profit margins will go up. So I know that's what they want to do, but I I'm sure they'd love to do it for the screens, because Samsung are just like, yeah, we'll charge you this much.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how many days it's going to be until Samsung have an accident at their factory, and then it's screws up the Apple delivery dates.
Well, here's the funny thing: the iPhone X apparently is going to have big, like bigger than we've ever seen, delays because of the screen. So the iPhone X, the screen's OLED, same screen that you've got in your phone now, but they're going to have a lot of problems distributing it. I wonder if that's like Samsung saying, actually, we need all these screens for our phones.
Yeah, like what
we'll give them
Samsung's
to you.
competition? Like, it doesn't make sense, but I don't know. Apple just must be paying them a bucket of money.
I think they would do, and then they would also pay them even more just to kind of get the confirmation that they can get that many displays. So they're probably like, by Christmas, we want 3 million OLED displays from you. And they're like, hang on a second, that's way too much. Like, we need to do this. And they're like, we're willing to give you this much money, but you have to guarantee that we get 3 million displays. And then, blah, 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 it goes from there.
Yeah, but like that's an interesting economic situation there. Are Samsung going to make more money from iPhones than they're going to make selling their own phones?
There was a company out there that I think it was... I can't remember what it was now, but it was a similar situation where they were getting more money from third party than they were just from making their own product. So, which is interesting. I think it was Sony or something. I can't remember what it was. I think it was something like them selling their LCD screens, because remember they don't do Sony Vio laptops anymore. It was something to do with that, and they were like, we're not going to do our laptops anymore, but we sell our like screen or LCD technology to other people, and that makes us the money.
Yeah, it's a weird system. Is that like Apple's new takeover policy? We're not going to destroy you. We're just going to spend you out of existence.
We're going to bleed you dry. Yeah. But I mean that was a lot of talk this week, I guess. I always like streaming in to those press conferences. So I think what else did they have? They had like the Apple Watch, which has never really been interested in that. They had the Apple TV. Surprise, it's 4K. Yeah, so is everything else. So they're playing catch up there. The one good thing that Apple did movie wise and TV show wise for the Apple TV was, or just Apple in general, if you've ever bought a movie on Apple on the iTunes store, they'll upgrade all your purchases to 4K for free. So if you like, I know a friend in the UK who has literally over 200 films. He buys a lot of films on iTunes. Now, all of his movies, if the studio has a 4K version, he has all the 4K versions now, which is pretty cool. So,
yeah, but does he have the 720 version? No, he doesn't.
Just in case he wants to play it on his Game Boy.
Yeah, in case he wants to play it on the new shitty iPhone screen that has a white bar on the side and can't do 4K.
Yeah, it's like 3.9K. What else has been going on?
I got a good one. It's about a week old now because we don't do these at all anymore. But it actually has to do with your Apple Watch. So that was a good segue that I didn't plan at all.
Oh, cool.
But okay. I don't know if you've seen this because neither of us really follow it. But there was a case in baseball where the Boston Red Sox got done for cheating.
They were stealing bases.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they were using the
really
Apple Watch.
Yeah. They were reading the signs, weren't they? And then telling what the dugout or whatever were reading it and telling them what the signs were.
Yeah. So now there's like this call that they're going to what's it called? Just ban electronics from the dugout at all. You can't have anything, no laptops, nothing. I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense to have that. So yeah, what would happen is in baseball, you got your pitcher, you got your catcher, and then the catcher gives him the little signals. He does those little 2 fingers between his legs or 3 fingers.
That's right.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah.
So the guys who are going up to bat, they can't see it because he's sitting behind them. But the guys in the dugout can see them. So what they would do, or they can't see him either. So what would happen is somebody in the stands would look. He would see the signal. He'd send the signal to an Apple Watch, and then the Apple Watch guy would, signal the batter. So it's this like real quick, system.
Yeah,
it's just like
I remember. I think it was the Yankees that got caught out on it, but then so they were like, "What the heck do you think you're doing?" And they were like, "Oh, everyone else is doing it," and it's just like, "Well, you've just been fucking caught."
Yeah,
and thanks for letting us know. But yeah, it was like that was their reasoning. It was just like, what do you think you're doing? And they're like, oh, everyone else is doing it, so don't blame us. It's like, well, no, we will blame you.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking cheating.
Because that doesn't usually work when I go to court. It's like, yeah, I know it was a DUI, but I've seen a lot of other people drink driving, so it's all right.
I've seen it before.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that was good actually. It seemed like that was like pretty tricky. I remember hearing about that.
And did you see the Panasonic release their prototype fridge?
No, what's that?
It's a fridge, it's like one of those mini fridges you get in a hotel, like a little about that high.
Sure.
But it's
about that high.
It's about that high.
I can't see.
No, it's about this high. No, not that's too high. It's this high. That's it. Yeah. So it's that high, and it's on like wheels, and it's motorized, and if you call it, it'll come to you.
Whoa!
It's like a you don't even need a dog anymore.
That just reminded me of the robot from Rocky. Remember when Apollo had that robot?
Oh yeah.
And they gave it to Polly or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just reminded me of that.
So and then it's like I don't know what it's got like all the voice activation, so you can just call it from the other room, and then it'll tell you what's in the fridge.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, I think it's called Ku. Ku. Ku.
Okay.
It's supposed to be for. They say it's for like elderly people, like so they don't have to get up for it. But it's just for idiots and drunks. Hey, where's the fridge? Hey, fridge, come over here, bro. I want a drink, bro.
Sound like Rocky there.
Yeah, I was trying to do Rocky.
And then you know that we're going to get a couple, so yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we definitely have to get two of them, and then we have to make them fight.
Podcast. Yeah, we'll have them fight, and then we'll be like, "Hey, bring us a bear." What was I going to say? One thing going back to the iPhone very quickly was the wireless charging, which you have wireless charging as well on your phone. Do you use that, by the way?
No, I didn't get the little charging station thing.
You don't have the station, yeah. But it just made me think of like a cool future because I know the back of it's like glass and it supports like the whatever the standard charging stations are. But in the future, like every device is going to have wireless charging. Why don't they put that into the MacBook Pros and the laptops of the world as well on the bottom, and then eventually tables could just have that built in, and then you could just go sit down in like a room or a coffee shop.
Yeah, I know there's coffee shops that have it, don't they? They're like their patio tables. They're like wireless charging now. Probably somewhere like California or something.
It'd be kind of cool to see if the bottom of your laptop was like that, so you just never have to bring your charging cable with you. I just thought that would be pretty sweet, and it just charges wirelessly. Because I know there's other wireless stations that you don't have to put it on a pad, and you just have to put it in the range of it, and then like the actual like kind of waves of charging, or just charge your devices, and you could put many devices around it. But I just thought that'd be pretty sweet. Like that's not too far off having that kind of tech. So like in the future, just looking at all these wires. Like I was looking at a photo of us when we set up, remember, in our basement, we did like a Rant and Bollox day.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was looking at it, but I just noticed like we had so many wires, because we had a wire for our mic, we had a wire for both our laptops, and we had wires for, I think it was like the computer in the background, and you had the Oculus, and you could see the wire there, and it was just like, man, like, look at all these fucking wires. Like in another 5 to 10 years, we're just getting rid of it all, aren't we?
Yeah, you're just a racist. That's all it is. You hate wires. Yeah, you're a wirist.
Pretty much. A wirist.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the word of the podcast.
You just want everything to be beaming around and bouncing around your house.
I want to microwave everything.
Yeah. You want your fridges walking around and your TVs to have no wires and charging from the wall. Actually, that'd be pretty sweet. I think there was like these little chargers that you can put in the wall, and then they wirelessly charge your TV, so your TV doesn't need to be plugged in. Ah, cool.
So it's all just getting out of hand. I think we need to go back to Nokia's, and well, not even phones at all. You just need to pick up a wired phone and say, I'm going to meet you at 8 o'clock and you better be there. Everyone
needs to get an old gramophone and just wind her up and put a record on and just remember the good old days.
Wind it up when you need it. If North Korea do their shit, we're going to have to get those wind up fucking devices out. Get in the bunkers.
Yeah.
Get your wind ups.
I got my wind up lamp right there. So I'm ready to go.
You're right. You'll be able to see the destruction. So, what else? There's a couple of other things that leads into my tech bollocks question.
Oh, very interesting.
So I've got one which is streaming. So we Twitch stream every now and again. one thing that really annoys me with streaming is there's that delay. Like, I like to just stream. I want it instant. If I'm streaming a game right now, I'd like to say, like, oh, I just shot that guy, and you'll be like, yeah, I saw that, instead of you seeing it 15 seconds later.
Right.
But that's if I'm, like, actively, if I'm talking to you one-on-one. If you got an audience, it's not so bad, because you kind of almost want to have a delay just in case something happens. But a lot of the time, I'm either streaming to my brothers or I'm streaming to you, trying to show you something. So YouTube just did an update where you can stream on YouTube now, and apparently they got the latency down to about 2 or 3 seconds, which is pretty awesome. So they're trying to get into game streaming more, because Twitch is just so bloody popular now.
We're on
people
Twitch.
have their own podcast.
Find us on Twitch, Rant and Bollox.
We are on Twitch. The Rant
it's marketing,
and
Alex. You got to market yourself. Branding. That's the new capital.
Gotta push it.
Yeah.
Gotta push it. But I did find one solution. So it's just a little tip for people out there, anyone that's listening that wants to try.
Have your friends over. Put them in the house. No latency. Boom. Done.
Yeah. Split screen. GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Get outside.
So.
Well, don't get outside, because you want to have a wire to go out. But when you have wireless TV, and then go outside.
When you have wireless Oculus, get outside.
Yeah.
Put it on.
Go to the bus shelter. Go down the road. Yeah. Have some dinner wearing an Oculus.
You'll have a breeze, it'll be fine.
Yeah, don't fall in a lake.
Fall in a lake. This is so real. It's like the shark's really there. But yeah, if you do it over Skype and you do a Skype screen share, so I did a Skype screen share with my brother. I was playing PUBG. PUBG, it's where it's at, everyone. Get on it. Get on the train. So I was streaming it, and then my brother could see instantly what I was doing. The only disadvantage to it is the quality's like 720p, so that will suit you, Neri, and your res.
Yeah, it suits me. Yeah.
But then the frames per second's like maybe halved. It's like 15 to 20. But the good thing with it is like everything that you do is like instant. So he's seeing, or they're seeing exactly what you're doing, and not a 15-second delay. So anyway, I just I found it out a couple of weeks ago that Skype share, usually it's just made for like presentations or just showing someone like where something is on a computer, but you can stream a whole game. So there you go.
So what's the difference then between the streaming on Skype and then the streaming on YouTube?
So the one on YouTube will be much better quality.
Right. So that's the only difference. It's just...
Yeah, the frames per second and the quality, but it's got like a 15, even 20-second delay. So like if I'm playing right now and I'm talking to you and I'm like, yeah, just having a little go at this, I'm like, oh my god, like the guy just shot me. You won't see that for another 20 seconds. So it's not really fun for you, like if it's a one-on-one, streaming session. But if you're just watching it with like 100 other people, everyone else is watching it delayed, so it's okay. It's just because I was showing my brother, and I didn't want to like have to wait 15 seconds for him to see what I was doing. So, but YouTube have got it down to 2 or 3 seconds apparently. So we'll give that a go, and we'll see if it's any better than Twitch.
And if it's not, we'll just go back to Twitch.
We'll go back to Twitch.
Yeah. And
then the last thing I had was just because we do live in Canada. Did you hear about the Hyperloop trains?
I did. So we're one of the finalists, aren't we?
Yeah, and it will get to Montreal, so Toronto to Montreal in 39 minutes. And right now, that's like a 5-6 hour journey. So that's pretty awesome if that comes together. I just love the fact that, tech like that could be coming to Canada, and that will really kind of connect those cities big time. I know when the Eurotunnel came in and you got the France and England, that was a big thing. So hopefully that kind of comes to Canada and does the same thing. But that made me just think of just travel in general, and I mean, this one's like really out there. One of these questions is really out there, but just what you think of. When do you think the day will be that we can get to Australia in an hour? And also, I'm just talking general travel, so I'm just going to throw a few out there.
I don't know. I've never been to Australia. I don't know if I'd want to go. I hear it's shit. And only assholes go.
I went there.
Oh, you went there. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went there. So
I didn't know that before I said that.
Took a bloody long time. But no, just like we did have Concords. We don't have Concords anymore.
They're too loud. They burst people's ears. They're too loud.
you've got these tunnels that Elon Musk wants to invent, which is going to cut traffic down, and then you've got some other things. I'm just throwing lots of things out there. You got these
teleporters.
Space.
You got teleporters.
Well, that's the last thing. That's the last thing. But just before that is this is not really, this is travel, but it's going all the way up. But did you hear about the elevator, space elevator that will basically connect to the International
they've been
Space
talking
Station,
about that for like 40 years now.
Yeah, like if that's even possible to build, and then just moving on to teleportation. Like, can you teleport something? You know, are we gonna do? Are we gonna have like an instance of Star Trek? But just I don't know. Just your thoughts on like. The most realistic one basically is when do you think we're going to get another kind of Concorde type plane, or Richard Branson's was it Atlantic, was it?
What?
Atlantis,
yeah, something like that. Yeah, the one where it goes just above or just below space and then comes back down, like.
Yeah, because like when do you think we're going to see the next big innovation in space travel, and like also like how much would you pay to get back to Ireland in an hour? You know, if you could go back to Ireland in an hour.
Right now in this heat, maybe $1 million. Jesus, it's hot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like it's a weird thing that we seem to be moving forward technologically, but it's all very small. We're like getting faster microchips and faster computers and faster things, but it doesn't look like we're pushing technology in any other direction. Like you could say the Tesla's a move forward, but Tesla's just taking the car and changing the engine with technology we've had for 30 years.
Yeah.
So it's great because if you know anything about cars or whatever, Tesla, there's how to put it, when you're on a train has to move like hundreds of tons instantly, so it has huge amounts of torque. Yeah. And that's what an electric car can do as well. It can get all wheels moving straight away, and then you can get this incredible acceleration. So for like gearheads and speedheads, like the electric cars are actually pretty awesome because they're going to be faster than a petrol car and accelerating.
Yeah, yeah.
But in terms of like, it doesn't look like anybody's building something spectacular or amazing in any other field.
I know. It almost feels like we're venturing into space more than we are our own planet.
Yeah.
You know, like you could even say that with underwater as well. We don't even know. We don't even know most of what's under our own oceans.
No, there's no money in exploration, so we don't really bother trying it anymore. Like with the.
But do you
traveling to Australia, say Australia from here. Like, if they're gonna do it, would have to be some sort of like imagine a loop that could actually go on the water. That would be pretty great.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like you built, say, 4 of them. So you went America, Asia, Australia, South America. And then you could link the entire ring in one go.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go directly from here to Australia, but you could go from here across to, Beijing, and then from Beijing to Sydney.
Yeah, so but you'd have like a train that could go directly there with no stops or something, or
But even then, that would still be like 1 hour across and 1 hour down. So you're there in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to do the same, you wanted to go to South America, you just go 1, 2, 3, and you're in South America.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, because then you could look down from like the space station and see like what we've built. Like how you can see the Great Wall of China and stuff. Because the other way, we could have one of those halo fucking things going around the planet. Like what movie was that in, where there's like this rotating planet? I think it was the one with Matt Damon, and he's like kind of all mech'd out.
Elysium.
Yeah, remember the planet was all kind of piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
But it had our guy, the from District 9.
Sharlto Copley.
Yeah, he was good in that.
You fucking prawn.
Yeah, fucking prawn.
Prawn.
I can't do it, but you could do it better.
Prawn.
No, I just I don't know, just those trains. It's like it's a bit of a weird bollocks question, but it just got me thinking about travel and like will we ever in our lifetime come up with like teleportation? Can it even happen?
It can happen. I know it can happen because they did an experiment, but it was only for, I think, atoms, like neutrinos, moving from one spot to another.
I heard about it, yeah.
So you can move it and it'll be like speed of light kind of stuff.
Right.
And you have your sender and your receiver. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility. I think in our lifetime, a hypertrain is probably the closest we're going to get.
I think so as well, yeah.
But you would kind of hope that like there's airplanes out there that are fast. Obviously, the Concorde was super fast, but then you've got the supersonic jet fighters that the military have, and it's just if you want to take that technology and put it into public transport, I don't know if that would happen. I don't know if there's any money in that, or if it's like a kind of like the military don't really want to be competing with Boeing trying to get around the world because then they're in real trouble.
That's true, actually. Yeah,
it's like the police and the army. There's like limits on what kind of weaponry the average person's allowed to have. You're not allowed to own a tank.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, buy yourself a tank at BMW.
Yeah. I think like teleportation would be great, but if you look at teleportation as a thing, it's always been in Star Trek and it's cool and it's amazing and they go traveling. But in our world today, that would just be terribly dangerous technology.
Yeah, yeah. With our planet, I mean, teleportation in Star Trek, and I'm guessing, well, it would be in real life. They're actually killing the person and rebuilding them.
Yeah, so exactly. You're moving them through and then reforming them on the other end.
Yeah, so just introducing that is a bad thing.
Yeah, it would have to be one of those kind of. It would be like an airport. Like it'd be super strict to get through, and then you'd have to. There'd only be X amount of places you could build it, but it's like anything else. Like anybody can go out and build an airplane now with enough money. Once the the box is open, the technology's out there. What's going to stop people putting the money together and making their own?
Yeah,
and just causing just horrible mutations and all sorts of shite. Like it's just like you can go out and you get your little put in a plane or your whatever it is, Pesna or whatever, and you can learn to fly on that thing, and like that's the limit you can get, just like you have a limit on your car license. But with a piece of technology, you're kind of screwed. You're gonna have some guy down in the Middle East just being like, you know what, screw all this, I'm gonna just throw a bomb on this and let it set off in London. You're like, ah, shit.
Yeah. Get rid of it all.
Yeah. But on the plus side, we won't get that far because North Korea's going to take us all down.
They'll take us all down, and we'll just, we'll get on our Hyperloop trains. That's about it.
Yeah, so. And then we'll all be instantly teleported to the afterlife.
until David wakes us up.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about that bollocks is just it seems to be that we're hitting a stagnation in our development.
Yeah, I do agree.
All our tech is like narrowing down into smaller bits, and that's getting real fast. But it's like, oh, we're trying to make AI, we're trying to make robots, machines, and stuff like that. But in terms of exploring and going out and doing stuff, we're not doing it anymore. Yeah.
We need like we need a bloody Mars mission. We need to just get them. I don't care if we're not ready. Let's just go. Let's just get them there.
Well, the other thing with that is I was just thinking, like it's part of the problem with the internet as we broadcast over the internet. So that's a good way of kicking ourselves in the teeth. Like, has it changed our mentality? Like, if you think about technology, like it basically hit in the 20th century. It's when we built the airplane. It's when we perfected the car. It's when we built electric trains and all this kind of stuff, right? And you could see that progression where things went from the Wright brothers doing their tests to the airplanes and bombers in World War II. It was like 30 or 40 years to get from that to nuclear weaponry. And then 10 years after that, we're landing on the moon. And then it just seemed like after we hit the moon, we started hitting computers. And it looks like because we're so good now communicating, we can all get on our phones, we can talk to anybody in the world, that instinct or that urge to actually go to the place seems to have been kind of squashed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. It's like, and we're just focusing on the smaller things.
Yeah, it's like, why do I have to go to New York? I can just look it on my phone. I can just stream the fight from Las Vegas straight to my computer. I can see the Australia on the internet, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just kind of our society, our brain is just kind of shifted to being like, I don't think I go anywhere. I got my phone.
Nah, yeah, I'll just go on my phone. I'll go in VR or something like that. So yeah, it feels like the bigger picture, like like you said, like these big trains or planes and stuff are just less and less. Like obviously, yeah, you'd like to go there, but with technology now and 4K and 8K and just people are maybe not as ambitious, or the money's just not there.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, it's an interesting way of thinking of like, have we, in our attempts to try and be more open and worldly and communicate with everybody, have we actually just kind of shot ourselves in the foot, and now we're just all perfectly happy to sit in our own little corner of the world?
I feel like most people are, to be honest. Yeah.
Cool.
It's just like, we can hop on a plane, but it might take us this long. But I don't care. Getting to Australia in an hour, it's just like it's too much trouble.
Yeah.
We're fine with what we've got.
That's why we gotta support guys like Musk and all them who are gonna keep pushing us to be better.
Definitely, he's our Tony Stark, really, isn't he? So he's he's got some great ideas and he can back it up. So
yeah, hopefully he doesn't fuck us over like Tony Stark always does.
He's gonna be dead anyway in the Avengers. So.
There was a quick thing on that. I think there was rumors of. Spoiler alert, so this is a proper spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently Chris Evans has been seen filming scenes for Captain America, or not Captain, for Avengers 4.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because Captain Marvel, Brie Larson.
Yeah.
She's been seen with Chris Evans, and I think it was on set.
Right.
And it's like, so Captain America's in 4. So he doesn't die in the third one.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which means it could be good old Stony Stark.
Yeah, Stony Stark. It's got to be him.
It has to be. It's got to be.
Otherwise, it's just not big enough. Like, the death's not big enough,
And maybe he won't be a prick and he'll actually sacrifice himself.
Fucking better do. Well, I mean, he kind of was doing that with Avengers 1, and then he floated back down.
Well, then, but even with that, it was kind of like, Tony, you don't really give a shit. You don't really care.
Because he woke up straight from that, and he was just like, there's a good shawarma place around.
Yeah, there's a good shawarma place. And then they're like, we'll make him all PTSD in Iron Man 3. Yeah. And he's like, he solved that. He got over that. That took him a day.
Yeah.
He got over that. That trauma. It's bullshit. Fucking Tony Stark. Fuck him. Let him rot. Ooh. Let him rot. Alex has just strangled himself on his wires, folks. That's what happens when you don't have wireless.
Yeah. That was my wedding ring, actually. It just fell off.
I'm not saying that's a bad sign, Al, but that's going to get you in a bit of trouble. I don't think that's a good omen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, what the hell?
Anyway, that's movies. Movies can wait. Or do you want to go into movies now and then do games at the end?
Yeah, just mix it up, Let's just live a little.
Let's have a change.
Wings.
Let's have some wings.
Let's have some wings. Inside joke there.
There's no inside jokes here, Al. Everyone's listening. We can't keep jokes to ourselves anymore. Movie-wise, there's one thing we should touch on that just happened this week. The actor Harry Dean Stanton died.
Yeah.
So for fans out there who actually he's in the Avengers. He's the guy who finds the Bruce Banner when he's come through the wall. He's like, are you a big green guy, or are you a guy who turns green?
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah. He's also probably most famous for most guys from Alien. He's one of the truckers in Alien. But Stanton's like, he's got a long career. He's a musician, he's an actor. He was 91 years old, so.
Oh, he's 91, was he?
Yeah, he put in a good innings, I guess they say, in the baseball world.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, what can you do? You can't bring him back. You just say, "Well done, chap. Good on you."
91's not bad, to be honest. So
sorry you're done over, but we're all gonna end there eventually.
Yeah. Sorry you're done over.
At least he did something. He's had a cracking life, and well done to him.
Yeah.
I wish I could be in the Avengers movies.
Wish you could be in the Avengers movies.
Yeah, just like one of those, one of those Stan Lee cameos. That'd be great.
You've just got to follow like the cast or something. Next time they're filming, and just be like, "Oh, I just happened to be in the background. I've broken into this factory." Something like that.
Oh, I'm just standing here in the background, giving the finger to Tony Stark. Fuck you.
I only had a couple of things on my list for movies, actually. I mean, we both saw the It film, so that review will come.
Yes.
But one thing with It is, did you hear? I think it was Brazil, but they had like a viewing of the film, and then towards the end of it, there was actually a clown dressed up as Pennywise in the theater, and he was just in the corner. So as people are leaving the cinema, he was in a corner, but he wasn't like jumping out scaring them. He was literally just standing there staring at everyone.
Oh my god.
So as they walk out, a couple of people caught his eye, and they were like, "Oh my god, what the heck?" A bit like in the film, like where he's just standing in the corner or he's in the dark. But and I think he had a balloon, like he was giving balloons out or something. But yeah, that would friggin' freak you out after watching the film and then seeing like a little clown like that. So
clowns in general just scare people. That's the problem.
What's that?
Clowns in general just scare the shit out of people. Let's face it.
Yeah, clowns in general are messed up. Like the original, it was just known for its just fuckedness of clowns. The only other thing on my list was Kingsman seems to be doing well, so that might be another one for us to watch. It's supposed to be like just as crazy as the other ones, but still kind of, like the first one was like a little bit quirky. It was a bit odd, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a strange little moments in that one.
Yeah, apparently they hold on to that, because I was afraid that they were going to go really Hollywood and just forget all of that and then just make it, have those actors in it, but make it like a Hollywood whatever action film. But
now I'm not as mad about Kingsman as you were, so like I'm not that big up on the second one. Like I'm not crazy for it.
I was kind of just waiting to see kind of what the feels were out there, and they seem to be decent, so I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
But like I'm not bothered if I'll just see it when it releases in digital. But if I find myself at the cinema and I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. So so that would be pretty sweet.
And the new Blade Runner's on its way
watch
as well. I don't know.
Blade Runner's on its way.
Have you seen the posters?
I've not seen the Blade Runner posters.
Oh, don't make you cry. They're so terrible.
Oh, well, it couldn't be as bad as have you seen the Tomb Raider posters?
No, I haven't seen like the new one. What's her name?
Yeah,
Alicia Vikander.
They're ripping it apart. So basically, it's her. It's the casual stance where the woman's kind of standing. It's behind her, but she's looking over her shoulder thing. But her neck looks like really long in it. So now there's memes on the net, man, and people have been stretching the neck. Someone's like stretched it round, and then it's going round and round and round like fruit roll up.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Oh yeah, that's pretty awful.
It's just boring. That's a boring poster. But also her neck is a bit long in it. And then I don't know if you're looking at the funny ones, but people are stretching it out.
Yeah, they're stretching, making her giraffe. Yeah.
But I'd honestly say the bloody computer game covers are better than that. I think that's what they were kind of going for. I think they were trying to mimic the computer game ones, because the new computer games, the last two Tomb Raider games, have been really, really good, and they've kind of given some life to the series. So I think that's why these films are coming out. But yeah, hopefully it's just a poster, and then the rest, because like Black Panther had a bit of a shit one as well, didn't it?
It had a real shit one, yeah.
So,
and then
but what's the Blade Runner one? So what's up?
The Blade Runner one's even worse than that bloody one. It's just it just looks Photoshop, like if someone like pulled a picture from a still from the movie and just stuck it on a background of a city.
Wow.
And then it just says Blade Runner 2049, and it looks fake. Like it looks like someone made that at home when they heard about the movie being released. You know those kind of things when people are like, oh, they're going to make a Black Panther movie, and then they'll do their own little Photoshopping, like, I can't wait for this.
Sure.
It looks like that, and you're just like, are you kidding me? I'm already got a lot of worries about that movie.
I'm looking at it now. It does look pretty cheap. It looks cheesy. It looks fake. And then I've got the original right next to it, and it could have like taken some cues from the original at least. But
yeah. It's just it's the most bland, generic type of poster you could do. It's like, put the actor on the screen, put his name at the top, coming soon. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like this, the whole movie, the whole reason they're remaking this movie and everyone, gets a hard on for it is it's changed the way we look at movies. It changed the way cinema could be done. It revolutionized the look of the future. It's like maybe don't make it shit then, put a bit of effort in, take a risk. I still think Thor's poster is the best poster of the year.
Yeah, that is friggin' awesome, that poster.
Yeah. And I still don't know, like the Justice League's coming out. I guess their Justice League poster is the one they've already released, where they're all just kind of looking off to the side.
I think it is, because like they probably would have wanted to get out there early so people recognize it.
Yeah, I was like, that's not super amazing either. Like, Jesus.
No. They usually have half-decent posters, DC.
Yeah, it's like, we're looking off into the distance. Good for you.
Yeah. I just hate that Tomb Raider one. I just hate, like, it's someone did another post where it's always the woman looking back and then just showed like 20 other posters like it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's just getting boring.
It's also the thing of like we have so much content now, and people are so used to stuff. It's like, well, then take a risk. It's the way to get away,
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't understand things. I don't understand things anymore, Al. I give up on life. It's done.
I'm having a hard time understanding.
It's just I don't understand who goes into like the promotion side of it and is saying, let's do the exact same thing as everybody else. Like you're a marketing guy, you're a design guy. Like I know you get clients who are afraid to change things up or whatever. Let's just use what we always did. Let's make the same thing we always made. But at the same time, the company that stands out, that gets like that reaction, is the company that just goes, let's do this idea, let's do that idea, let's put our pictures on the side of the box instead of the front of the box. Whatever. I don't know. This is your job, not my job.
No, I know what you mean. You want to stick out from the crowd. You want to make sure, that just reminds us of that company or whatever. You don't want to fall in that trap. Otherwise, it's just stagnant and boring, and people will forget you. That's the main thing. They'll forget you. Like the Thor poster, people are all talking about because they're like, "Wow, that's different." Like when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell's going on? It was like super colorful, and everything kind of coming out like a flower almost, but in this like vector kind of graphics. But I was like, I remember that poster. Like it's you don't always remember movie posters, so they're just sticking out from the crowd.
Yeah.
Whereas Blade Runner, it's just, and that Tomb Raider one, you'll forget it super easily.
I've forgotten it already.
Well, one thing that I do like, and we don't like the movie, but I still like the titles from Suicide Squad. I like the color that they had on those, and they had like a bit of 3D. I'll always remember that, and I'll remember the bloody song just because they overplayed it like hell. But I do still love the titles, and I remember them. And like I'm a marketing kind of design guy, so I remember those things. So it does help to have to do that. So
yeah, like it especially with a shitty movie like Suicide Squad, at least stands out. Like, we gotta get something that gets these kids in. Let's just put a lot of pink and a lot of color, and we're ready to go. Kids love color. Yeah. No, kids like story, you prick.
We got Jared Leto.
We got Jared Leto. Oh yeah, so this is the other thing that we were catching up on is.
Well, he's in Blade Runner as well.
He's in Blade Runner, but we went into it last time we were talking. There's still more discussion about Martin Scorsese doing a Joker movie with a different Jared Leto. Now there's talk of getting a different Joker altogether to do the Batman movie or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I think Leto's out. I think that's generally what people seem to be saying.
I think people will be happy with that, though, to be honest.
I think he'll be happy about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like... I've mentioned it before. I just don't understand some of the choices DC are making. But at the same time, if they're going down this route where they're just going to make good movies that are separate from each other, perfect. Because you're not doing the Marvel thing because you fucked that right up from day one. So just do something different. Do that. Just be like, you know what? We're going to do 3 different Superboy movies, and we're going to do two Batgirl movies. It'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Until they fuck all
Anything
them
on your movie list there?
No, that was everything. There was the piece of news that again no one's really surprised by was Star Wars 9 lost its director.
Oh yeah, I kept hearing things about that. Like they had and they hadn't, and the last thing I heard is they had.
Yeah, they had.
But yeah, what the heck's going on there?
Well, obviously they don't say what happened. It's just creative differences. It's like anytime a celebrity couple gets divorced, it's always over irreconcilable differences.
Yeah,
They never put down on the thing. It's like, oh, it's because he was banging the babysitter. Don't put that down.
Yeah, yeah, but he was.
Yeah,
so.
she screwed her director on her latest movie. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got rid of the guy who was Colin Trevorrow, or whatever. He did Jurassic World, which I think is a piece of shit.
Right.
And now J.J. Abrams is back, and he's going to write and direct it. Which is interesting.
Well, that's
yeah.
good. Yeah, that ended up decently then.
Yeah.
So.
Well, some people are saying, well, he's just going to remake Return of the Jedi because he remade Star Wars. And, he's going to steal the same stuff. And then there's other people saying, well, he dropped out of doing the second one because he didn't want to remake stuff. He wanted to take Star Wars in a different direction. And that's why he's now writer and director on this one.
Interesting.
So, I don't know which way to go because I tweeted about it last week. I watched Armageddon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. J.J. Abrams wrote that.
Did he?
He was one of the writers on it.
Oh shit! I didn't even know
it popped up on the thing. I was like, wait a minute, and I rewind. I was like, it is J.J. Abrams.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's way back when.
It's an early one.
That film's 1998. Yeah. It's nearly 20 years ago.
What were you doing watching that?
It's exactly like I said. I wanted to put on something in the background that I didn't have to pay attention to. Sure. And that was the stupidest movie that Netflix came up with.
I think I watched it like 4 or 5 months ago as well.
Oh, it's such a stupid film. It's ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, it's like I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I think we were even talking about it with the whole remote thing. He had to go down there and remote detonate it.
Yeah.
It's like, did you really have to do that?
Do you have to do that? What's going on? I still love. Have you ever seen the Ben Affleck commentary on it?
No, I haven't. No.
Ben Affleck's commentary on it is pretty good. He takes the piss out of the movie, and he talks about how one of the questions he was asking is, why is it easier to train a bunch of oil drillers to become astronauts than astronauts to become oil drillers? And Michael Bay is just like, shut the fuck up.
It's pretty awesome.
It's like,
that was his own commentary over it.
Yeah, like it was in the commentary. It's just like, really? Digging a hole? That's something that's going to take 4 years for them to get used to or whatever? It's like, no. It's like, you just dig a hole. Why don't you just have Bruce Willis in the control tower? It's like just such bullshit.
Yeah.
But anyway, the film's not supposed to make sense because it's Michael Bay. It's like, that's what happened. You gave him an inch and then he gave you Transformers 5. Fuck off.
Oh, Transformers 5. That is just, I haven't watched that one yet. And I just don't know if I can bring myself to do it. So.
Yeah, I know. And what else? Oh, I watched Assassin's Creed. So boring. It's just, if you want to go to sleep, it's a great movie.
Yeah, because you're a Fassbender fan.
I'm a Fassbender fan.
Having him as the lead is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like when I heard that, usually every single computer game movie is just terrible. But when I heard Fassbender was doing it, and then I know Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft, like, are they going to give it to the right director and stuff? And so it had potential. And then the trailers came out and it looked decent. But yeah, and then so it wasn't that great. It was just boring.
Yeah, like there was nothing special about it.
Yeah.
And then it probably, like, it was just so weird because the whole, like, the point of the game is that you're going back in time into the body of Ezio or one of the other assassins, and then, like, you're doing the missions, and then every time you die, it's a desync and you go into the modern age.
Right.
When you're playing a game, that's fine, because when you're actually playing the game, you're actually climbing the buildings and you're actually running around and you have this physical, you're doing something. But when you're watching a movie and they go back 500 years, you're basically just watching a flashback and you're thinking, what the fuck do I care about any of this? It's like, oh, we got this action, we got to save this thing, we got to run away from the bad guys and the arrows are flying, and you're like, I know he survives. He has to survive because he had kids and Fassbender's his descendant, and like, he's just like,
it doesn't really.
From the first time that happened, I'm like, wait a minute, they're not really, and I was like, yeah, they're doing this. I was like, oh, fuck off, you idiots.
Yeah.
It's really like it's basic filmmaking, like not even filmmaking, storytelling. It's like no one cares about what happened 500 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They balls that right up. So what's the next comic book movie coming out? What was it? It's not hate.
Is it?
Fuck! It's coming out next year, isn't it? Pixels 2 or something stupid like that.
Oh, the next computer game movie?
Yeah, there's one. Fuck, what was it?
Trying to think actually what it would be.
No. Maybe it's Red Dead Redemption. You can't screw that one up, surely.
Surely not. No.
Just cowboys.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, we already had. World of Warcraft, and then Assassins. The thing is, Assassins, for as terrible or as boring as it was, could have actually done fine for a computer game adaptation, and there might be another one. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. Like compared to what it usually happens, it's not awful, I guess.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, like Ubisoft, they weren't going for like, oh, we need to outsell like Thor or something. It was just like, I don't know how much what the sales were, but I get the feeling that it didn't like crash for them. But maybe it was like, I don't know if it warrants a sequel or not, and I don't even know if Fassbender would do it. Well, they'd probably get someone else. That's what Assassin's Creed is all about. Right? But
if you haven't, I'm not going to spoil it, but he's still alive at the end of it. I guess that is a spoiler.
Right.
So he could be in a sequel if they wanted to be.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's the way they build all this stuff now. They're all building it for like sequels and prequel or some sidequels, and no one's making a movie anymore.
I know. They always want to plan ahead and go like, oh, well, we've opened it up.
Yeah.
So,
which is actually what what's his name? Taika Waititi said about Thor Ragnarok. He said, I just kind of want to make my own movie that doesn't have anything to do with anything else in the Marvel universe.
Right.
So I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. It's not going to happen. They're going to make you
good for him.
They're going to make you put something in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool that he's just kind of like, I just wanted to make a movie with Thor on a road trip and having fun. So
yeah.
What else was I going to say?
That's
it. There's not much else on the movie front now until Blade Runner hits and we're into the next, the horror months and the stuff.
Yeah. I think September for games and movies was more of the quieter time as well. I know October, November, December for games is pretty heavy because of the Christmas period, and then October with horror and Halloween and stuff, and then we've got Justice League, we've got the Thors, so plenty to come, and then the Star Wars as well, of course.
Oh, Star Wars. Yeah, I'm still not sold on bloody Star Wars. I don't know why.
I'm not sold on it right now. However, I really enjoyed Rogue One, so I kind of want to know where they go from that. But I know they were like technically separate films because like it's a prequel and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. And we've got our Luke Skywalker, so we'll see what he does, what he brings to the table.
Well, yeah, like the other thing about that is now that Carrie Fisher's dead as well, and Han Solo's dead, you kind of know they're gonna kill Luke at some stage, right?
I guess so. It's gonna happen.
Like that's kind of the point of this, is that if they're trying to make more Star Wars, it's we want to have Rey's story and we want to have Finn's story, and we want to go that way. So you kind of have to kill off the Skywalkers. It's the only way the movie can progress. And like one of the big issues now with Disney for me owning Star Wars is that they make Rogue One, they make Star Wars, they make Han Solo, they make Star Wars, they make Boba Fett, they make Star Wars. It's just like we're gonna have a Star Wars movie every year.
Yeah, we can't be having that though.
But that's Disney. There's like, fuck, we're gonna remake Beauty and the Beast. Who gives a shit? Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
making money.
Yeah,
because that's
no, I know they kind of just see the dollar signs.
Yeah,
I hope they don't, because I know back in the day, and it's different. It's a TV series, but Star Trek, they just made way too many of them, and then they eventually took them off the air in the States because they were just on like all the time, and people were just fed up of it, and they had like a break, and then now they're bringing it back.
Yeah. Well, that's the last piece of news, so it was a good segue, Al. Good planning. Good, well done. We planned that.
We planned
we
it.
We did, no bollocks. Star Trek Discovery's coming.
Yes.
It's
it hasn't aired
September
yet. I know,
25th, I think. Next weekend.
Is it 25th? Oh, that's real soon.
Or
yeah.
two
'Cause I know
weekends. Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but I know Orville also premiered. So there's been 2 episodes of that.
Yeah.
I'm hearing mixed things. I'm not hearing the best of things, but I'll watch it and I'll find out for myself. I liked the trailer. I thought it looked kind of funny, and it was like kind of my humor, and I like the Star Trek scene of it.
Yeah.
But we shall see. Yeah.
I've been getting all my sci-fi fix from Rick and Morty. Oh, it's such a good show.
Oh, have you been watching it?
Yeah, so awesome. I just watched the latest one there, Rick Lantis Mix-Up.
Oh, I've heard the latest one was really good.
It's very good.
Did you watch Pickle Rick?
Yeah, Pickle Rick. I'm Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick. Someone went to Comic-Con dressed as Pickle Rick as well.
I'm Pickle Rick.
Man, it's that Pickle Rick episode was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So.
Someone was asking me about Rick and Morty, and I just said I would say it's probably the most original TV show, certainly on air now, if not in the last 10 or 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Like, you just look at that.
It's
and
a VR experience as well.
And a VR experience too, yeah.
Yeah, you get to mess around in their garage and stuff, and cook up experiments of them.
Yeah, like even if you don't like the humor, if you look at that, I like Futurama's up there as well. Like these kind of shows that are sci-fi, and they just come up with these ideas from like nowhere that no one else is doing. Yeah. I think those 2 are probably 2 of the most original shows ever. It's like Futurama and Rick and Morty, but Rick and Morty does more in less time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I've only seen a few episodes, but it looked absolutely nuts. But it did look pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like I think 3 or 4 of the episodes were just totally out there. Like I'd not seen anything like that before.
Yeah, it's very, very crazy. So
yeah.
I'm just glad that something like that's on air because it puts everybody on edge. Oh, and for everybody listening, the Emmys were on the weekend, and I didn't watch, and Al didn't watch, and we don't give a fuck.
There we go.
I'm not talking about it. If you want to talk about it, talk about it. I don't give a fuck.
No, I never even saw anything on it. I never looked up anything or saw a thing.
I do know Donald Glover won, and he's in Star Wars. He's Lando Calrissian. He won for
right.
Atlanta, his TV show. And
yes, yeah.
Westworld didn't win shit. So
wow.
So maybe I'm a little angry. Maybe I'm a little bitter. But fuck you, Emmys. Fuck you. The Handmaid's Tale.
You think it should have won something?
Yeah, fuck yeah. And The Handmaid's Tale, that won a bunch of stuff, and that's Canadian. So I guess.
Yeah, I saw that
good.
one actually made quite a lot. Won quite a lot. Sorry, yeah.
But I think like that's more of the political shit again, because like Westworld's a better show. Westworld's the best show on TV. But The Handmaid's Tale is, I heard it's an excellent show, but there's also, it has a lot of political undertones about, you know, America and Trump and all this kind of oppression and all that stuff.
Right.
It doesn't have a fucking samurai android, that's all I'm saying. Bullshit. Spoiler alert shit, yeah, fuck. Nah, it's been out now for months. If you haven't seen it, fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
So that is all our news. That's the end of the show. Good night.
Fuck you guys. Boom. Do you want to do our It review?
Let's talk about It.
All right. So we both saw some clowns on the weekends. Good old It. So what did you think of that, man?
It was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine. Yeah, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like Annabelle bad, but it wasn't like I don't think it's going to be remembered in like 20 years.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's I don't watch a lot of like horror films and stuff, so I was excited to see it, and I wasn't too sure what to think because I hadn't seen the original for a while. And the original, isn't it like a TV series or it's like a little episode series?
Yeah, it was like a two-part series that lasted for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what everyone remembers, like Tim Curry in the sewer drain, and he's Pennywise. So
that's right.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about this film, though. I don't know if it's better or worse. It's obviously better technically, but yeah, it's like everyone remembers it, that old TV movie kind of thing, getting scared shitless as kids. But I don't know if anyone is gonna really remember this one as being super scary or not.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, being scared as well as like, I guess it's subjective as well. Like who finds everyone finds different things scary. For one thing for me is they nailed the 80s vibe. Like, they nailed basically, I'm saying, like, Stranger Things. Like, Stranger Things had that 80s vibe down. They had the kids on the bike. This thing has the kids on the bike. One of the kids from Stranger Things. They nailed that, and the actual kids in their, like, relationship and the characters, like, I was invested in.
Yeah, the kids are really good actors. I got to give them that.
They did a really good job there. The one big thing for me was the clown at the beginning, and I guess it's not even a clown; it's a demon, isn't it?
It's an alien. No, shapes. In the book, and I think they might go into it in the movie, but it's an extra dimensional creature. So it's from a different dimension. Obviously, spoilers. All our reviews are spoilers. In case somebody's tuning in and be like, "Oh, they're ruining it." Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah,
that's how you watch a movie. It's from a different dimension, and it landed on Earth like millions of years ago. And where it landed, that's where the town of Derry is now built. So like it kind of sat there or lay there dormant, and then once humans and stuff started coming around, it feeds off fear and it feeds off emotions, and then then it makes itself into whatever is the scariest thing for you.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, like at the beginning with the kid, obviously with the boat, it goes down there. That's quite an iconic scene, especially for the trailers and stuff. That was like perfect, and just the way he played that clown was excellent. I was kind of expecting to see a little bit more of that later on, but because later on he just played, like, I guess in a good way, an absolute nutcase. Like him and his dance. You remember him dancing in the flames near the end? People are actually making memes of that now, and they're putting music to it. They're putting all types of music to him dancing like that. It's pretty funny. But overall I enjoyed the film. I didn't find it too scary. My biggest thing was that the kids. I thought he should have killed off maybe another kid or something. I know that didn't happen in the original or whatever, but I felt like they weren't scared enough. Like they would walk back into that house, and when they did walk back into the house the first time, they didn't even have any weapons on them. They just like kind of went, "Oh, who's in here?" I just thought, like, if I was a kid and you and a kid and we were all hanging out, we'd at least have a fucking baseball bat or something. We'd be like,
exactly.
Fuck this guy up. But I found that a bit weird. But on the flip side, I fucking loved it when they were in the house and then the clown like came out or whatever, or in whatever form he was, and they literally just went, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, they're just freaking out.
That reaction, it was such a good reaction because it's exactly like what would have happened. You would have been like, "What the fuck is going on?" So, but yeah, like there's lots of little bits we can kind of pick apart, or I mean, what was your favorite part?
I think it was the start of it. I really. Because I remember that scene from the 90s one with Tim Curry, but I think they just did a really...
Yeah.
There was just a couple of tweaks they did to it, and obviously it looks better. It's better shot and bigger budget. And just from the moment when like his eyes light up and then he steps out, and just you can see him, he's getting wet in the rain, but he also seems like he's drooling at the same time.
Yeah.
And then the moment that got me and made me think that he's making the character his own, because he comes out and he does the same thing that happens. He goes, "Hey, Georgie," and then...
Yeah.
There's the moment where he goes, "And can you smell it?" And he goes, "Popcorn, popcorn. I like popcorn. Pop, pop, pop." Yeah. They all go pop. And then whatever they did, like it must have been a CG effect where his eyes go kind of fucking off in two different directions.
Yeah.
And you can just see him like he's just like something's gone wrong, like something's tweaked in his head. And I like, that's very good.
Yeah, yeah. I actually noticed that as well, because it was just like a click, wasn't it? It was just a click, and then it's like, oh, he's someone else now, or he's turned into something else. So,
and then that's when the kid gets scared, and he's like, "Hey, ain't you going to get your boat, Georgie?" Yeah. Like I like that. And then, I think the problem with the movie that I have in general is everything is very okay, but. See, the problem with this movie in explaining it is that if you haven't read the book, and most people haven't read the book, like 99% of people haven't read the book, a lot of the best things in the book are kind of in the movie. But the problem with adapting this is that the book isn't amazing. It's got a lot of nice ideas in it. Like, it is a great idea. This creature that only children can see because they're the only ones who are have the imagination to break down reality, and he's not quite real, and if you believe in him, he'll kill you, and he's feeds on fear, and he comes back every 27 years or 30 years. They're all really cool ideas. But the problem with Stephen King's book is that he kind of fucks up a lot of things, and a lot of it doesn't work. So you're dealing with something that's not perfect to begin with. And then when you're trying to adapt it, that's where the holes come in. Like for me, you can see one of the big holes is, like you said, with the kids of like, oh, they went in with no weapons. And then later on, it breaks the kid's arm, and then he looks like he's going to kill him. And then they're in the sewers, and they just beat him with like with bats and stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it got to a point in the film where I felt like the kids were like being more the bullies for him.
Yeah.
Like to him, like they poke that thing through his head, and then he comes back, or he buggers off. But then they come back in. They start beating him, and they're like, "We're not scared anymore." But I was like, "You were barely scared to start."
Yeah, there's no like structure to it, and I think one of the things I would have loved to have seen, which kind of makes the movie hard to do, is that. All right, how to explain this? There's like four things about the book that you have to deal with. So this is going to be a long review, but it's only because it is a big fucking monster, and Stephen King couldn't stop, using cocaine when he was writing it. But the book has the kids in the 50s, okay, and that's one story, and then it has the kids in when they're grown-ups. So it's like, spoiler alert, there's going to be a second movie where they're grown-ups. So that's the two stories, and that's two parts of it. But the third thing in the book is that it is kind of magical. And if you leave the town, it doesn't have any control over it anymore. But when you're in the town, everyone's kind of like a little bit off. Like that's kind of what they talk about with how Bev's dad is kind of a pervert, and how their parents are kind of oppressing them, and they've all got these demons and fears. And there's like, you're 6 times more likely to disappear in Derry, but nobody deals with it. It's like this magical bubble, like a cloaking field, and then everything outside of America, nobody really pays attention. And then when you're in it, it just seems like that's the way things are. And then the moment you go outside of Derry, you forget. Once you grow up and you don't have a big imagination, you don't see it anymore. The town just seems like a crappy place.
Right.
So the cool thing with the book is that it takes place, and it's jumping back and forth between the kids fighting him and the adults having to go back and finish him once and for all. And the point of that is that the whole idea of like what's real and fantasy and time is kind of like they see themselves when they're younger, or like they hear stories from when they were younger, that kind of stuff. And like there's like reflections. They're doing the same thing when they were older as then they were younger. Because that's the kind of idea of like the book's got this really cool thing of everything's mixing together. Right. And that's cool. But in the movie, they kind of didn't do that. They're just like, we just want a story. Let's just have the kids, they fight them, and then we'll have a sequel where the adults fight them.
I know, it's very kind of blunt, because even at the end, it's just like, this is, what was it, chapter 1 or whatever they said?
Chapter 1, yeah. Like, I think that's kind of where that's where like some of the holes start to come in. Like when you try and make it a very sensible, straightforward story, there's all these gaps you have to fill in. And because
totally. I mean, like you just explained with, when you leave the town and then the parents being all kind of messed up, they didn't really explain any of that, did
like
they?
The start of the book is the adults learn like coming back to the idea that there is it, and then they're all just remembering it. It's like it was completely out of their memory. But like they get this message that something's happened, and they're like, "Oh Jesus! Oh, I completely forgot about that whole summer." And they've all got the scars or whatever, and they remember these terrible things. And then as they're going back to the town, like what's his name, Bill, the main kid, like he grows up to be a writer, because that's Stephen King books. There's always a fucking writer in it. But he grows up and he's like successful, and he writes horror stories, and his stutter is gone. But once he goes back to the town, his stutter comes back because he's starting to regress into being a kid.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, but the fourth part of it, so the first part's like the kids, second part's the adults, and the third part is the fact that it just messes with reality. Like if you're scared of him, he'll kill you, and if you're not scared of him, you can fight him off. But the
Sure,
fourth thing
yeah.
is the thing that I like the most in the book is just this atmosphere of Derry and how the whole town is just horrible and evil. Because it was built
Right.
on top of Pennywise, and he just made everything shitty. So the whole sewer
Yeah, 'cause he's
system
just-
is like he made sure that's
Yeah.
how they built it, and he made sure everybody's a little. And as time goes on, Derry just gets worse and worse. And then there's
Yeah, I loved seeing it in the background, like the photographs or the drawings, and you can see like his face in the
Yeah.
background and stuff. That was pretty sweet. That was pretty creepy.
and that's the thing, like, you miss from a movie. It's very hard to do that in a movie unless you're focusing on it. And I think that's kind of where I hope there's actually 3 chapters for this. For the first time ever, I hope there's more than a sequel. I hope the second film is them going back to the town. And then I would
Yeah.
love to see the third and final chapter where things get crazy and things are like mixing back and forth again, the kids and the adults. But
Yeah.
that's not going to happen because all the kids will fucking grow up too fast.
that's
That's
true,
the problem.
Actually,
That's why they have to shoot these movies real quick, because it's like, kids are going to be,
yeah. Have to use some
18,
CGI
19.
tricks or
Yeah,
something.
CGI. Marvel
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit. So yeah, like the film,
Yeah,
the
Marvel.
film's good because it has like good moments in it, but I think it just feels off for a lot of people because the kind of basics aren't in Stephen King's book. Like, he kind of dropped off.
Sure.
Like, it lures Georgie into the sewer, and that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
later he's kind of a giant monster, and he's like coming out of the walls, and you're like, what's he
Yeah.
doing? Like, what's the
Yeah.
thing here?
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt as well. I was just like, I'm seeing one thing, now I'm seeing another thing. It's like, are they scared of it? Oh, they're poking it? Oh, they're hitting it? It was kind of a little bit all over the place. Whereas the beginning, they set it up like super, super well.
Yeah, the
But,
idea I always got
yeah.
from the book, at least, is all of those things combined together. You have to have the 2 timelines mixing, and then Derry as a town is just shite. It's just this horrible place, and that if enough shitty things happen, it kind of gets stronger, and then it can lash out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff in the original book is there's the black kid, and then there's the Jewish kid, and then there's like a gay guy that goes missing, and there's a lot of attacking gay people or making remarks about the black guys in town and the black farmer, and there's racism
Oh, yeah.
and there's homophobia, and it's sort of like in that horrible hatred that something bad usually happens.
Right. Got
Because there's I think they tell the story in the movie of like, yeah, they do. In the book, the black kid's parents aren't dead, but the same.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's the same story. So because it took place in the 50s, he talks about how there was a nightclub that only the black soldiers could go to because they were still segregated, and then that burnt down, and it was a horrible thing. But his dad saw it that night.
Oh, God, yeah.
So that's the kind of thing of like the town kind of becomes this festering, horrible place, like for 1 year. And in that 1 year, like the clown will come out and he'll like attack somebody under a bridge, or he'll kill people or whatever, and then he disappears again. He kind of like, it's that weird thing in the movie where they kind of made he could do anything, but you weren't
Right.
quite sure, like, why doesn't he just kill these kids?
I know, yeah. He's in the veins of the village, like you see him in all the old photographs. He's just been there since the beginning. But yeah, he's corrupted. He's a disease,
Yeah. I think that would have, like, that's the kind of way I would have gone with the story, is if you had all that, like those photographs and you had those pictures and you just realized that the whole town is this awful, terrible place.
Yeah, because I like the kid that was discovering it, and he was just saying like, oh, this town, like so many kids go missing and even adults, dying and stuff like that. But I like that discovery, and then he had the things on the wall. But if they like kind of delved into it a bit more, and they were like, this town's sick.
Yeah, because to me it just felt a little like, I don't know, boring is the right word, but it was like, okay, here's one of the kid's doing something.
Yeah.
It is going to appear at some point. And then it goes to the next kid, and then it's like, oh, this kid's something's gonna happen to this kid.
I 100% agree. I feel like they could have taken some chances by like mixing it up a little bit, and people would have still been okay with that because it's and it's got such a big name. But at the same time, I guess you don't want to ruin it, or you've got quite a big thing to live up to. But yeah, I do agree. Like, it went to one kid, another kid did this, did that, back and forth, and it was, I guess, predictable in some ways. So
yeah. That's the thing. It was predictable, and then it gets to the ending, and it's like, Beverly is just floating, and then they kiss her, and she wakes up, and then they beat it to death with pipes, and I'm like, that's it? That's how you're ending this movie?
What was the ending all about? Like, so I didn't really get the floating myself. Like, I know that they said that a lot. We all float down here, but what was the floating? Because was that, I don't remember that in the original.
No, that wasn't in the original. Probably because they didn't have the budget. I don't even think it was in. Yeah, like, it lives in the center of the sewers in the book, and then it turns into like a spider because that's kind of what they imagine it to be. But I don't think it had like all the bodies down there. Like, it just eats things and leaves them. Oh yeah, it doesn't because in the movie, one of the strange choices they made was Bill's trying to chase down what happened to Georgie, but in the book, he's dead. They find his arm. His arm washes out into the, like, I thought that's what they were going to do because it goes through the sewers, and that's when they have the title "It" floating there. Yeah, like that's the drain that goes into the marshes or whatever. They find his arm down there, and then I was like, so yeah, that kid's dead.
Instead, they found the shoe, and it was the other girl.
Yeah, it was the girl. Like, I like that. Like, if you're an It like aficionado, there's a lot of little things in there, but at the same time, none of it matters. I get like I remember like they kept showing a close up of Silver, which is the name of Bill's bike. And it's like that works in the book because he has this whole chapter about his bike and how he loved the bike and how he remembered buying it, and he called it Hi-Ho Silver, and it was kind of like he uses it to get away from It at one point. But it's like in the movie, it's like, why are you showing a close up of the name of the bike? It makes no difference to this story. And that's what I mean about like they're trying to do justice to the book, but the book has problems, and I don't think anybody has the balls to just say it. And you're just like, yeah, this is fucking stupid. We have to make a bit of sense out of this book. And that's why it just felt a little predictable and a little like flat. When it ended, I was like, okay. I want to see the next one, but I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't watch, like I said, I don't watch a lot of horror films, so I did enjoy it because I haven't seen one for a while, and it was decent. But it definitely had its flaws. But at the end of it, I was like, I do actually want to see these characters again, and seeing them all kind of go their separate ways. I was like, oh, actually, I am looking forward to seeing those guys together. I reckon if that dynamic of the kids weren't in it and they were a bit more forgettable, I might not be as into it. But they really just did help the film quite a bit.
Oh yeah, it's one of those weird films where he's usually like, oh, the book is better, but I can't say the book is better because the book's like 1,000 pages. It's like it's a brick, and a lot of it's just nonsense or just boring and goes nowhere. But the good bits are really good.
Did you watch the book back in? Did you watch?
Yeah,
did you
I watched
read
the
the book back in the day, or is it more recently?
I was like a year ago. I was reading it again. So I like the book for a lot of parts of it, but it's the same. Like, the book has a lot of structure problems, and again, it has a fucked up ending that's just terrible.
Yeah,
you're like, yeah.
And I understand. I actually forgot when I was watching it, but I think that was filmed in Toronto as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was filmed in Hamilton.
It was in Hamilton.
It was in Hamilton. Yeah, the house that they used is now like becoming a tourist spot.
Is it Steve's place?
Yeah, it is. That's where that dirty old clown lives.
Yeah, thought so.
But there's other weird things that like they've changed out of the book that doesn't make sense. Like Ben, his parents are dead, but it's him that's kind of in the library learning everything. But in this one, they make it the fat kid Mike. And it's just like they're changing weird things. I'm like, what difference does it make if it's the fat kid or it's the black kid, or like it doesn't make a difference. Why would you change that? It didn't. Like, I didn't understand the point of that. And then there was.
It was a bit weird.
The couple of points in there, I was very confused. Like when Bev, her dad attacks her, and then I think he's dead, right?
I think he's dead after the thing in the shower or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And porcelain round the face.
Yeah, and I was just like, that doesn't happen in the book. She doesn't kill her own dad, because then they go off and they fight it. Then they're having that little campfire, and then they have a little kiss, and I'm like, that girl's killed her father. What is she doing? She's a murderer.
I know. Yeah, you think you'd be bloody shocked, because isn't the other person killed their parents as well?
The bloody bully.
Yeah. That's it, the bully. Yeah. So he did that. I was just like,
Bowers.
Two people,
Bowers.
He was insane.
Yeah, and in the book, he's proper mental case.
Yeah,
and
I thought, the bullies were pretty good actually in that, and then especially when the one where it got lost down in the sewer as well. He was just like, "Oh, you're fucked, mate."
Yeah, and he's a monster in the book as well. Like all those bullies are kind of like psychopaths, you know?
Yeah. That was I liked that. I liked that the fact they took one of those guys out. I kind of just wanted to take out one of those kids in the group, just one more, just to show the seriousness. Like this, this is fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Whereas I just felt like the second time they walk into that house, I was just like, oh, they're the boss now. Like nothing's gonna happen.
I think that was kind of the structure issue, because in the book, you get those scary scenes of each of them getting attacked, but it's also because the town is just. You're learning all the history of the town, of like this horrible explosion that killed a bunch of kids at a school or at the ironworks factory.
Yeah.
And you learn about the fire, and you learn about all this stuff, and like it just keeps that horror element going without any of the kids getting killed. But in this, because they don't have any of that, you're just going from the kids get scared at watching the movie, and they get scared going down the street, and they get scared seeing the leper, and they get scared seeing the headless kid walking through the library, but nothing happens to them. And after a while, you're kind of am I supposed to be scared of a clown that can't even kill a kid?
Yeah.
Usually, like in a horror movie with this, it's like all the kids would be killed except for one or two of them who make it out alive.
Sure.
And I know they can't do that, but again, it's that structure thing. You can't have the book scary town removed and then just replace it with the same jump scares all the way along. It's like, oh, the clown is behind the balloons, he's back again. It's like, so what? They just stab him in the face and he runs away. It's fine.
I know, yeah. It's not going to fly.
Yeah. So that was something they might fix in the second one.
That was quite a cool scene, actually, as well, with the balloons. I liked it when they were like perfectly lined up. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's a lot of really good imagery in it, but there's just stuff in it that I'm just like...
Yeah.
Like, one of the things that just made me just roll my eyes was when Richie, the kid with the glasses, the Stranger Things kid, he gets separated, and he's walking through a room full of clowns, and like he sees his grave, and he walks over to the coffin, and I'm just like, come on, like this is you know exactly what's happening here. The clown is going to jump out, and that's exactly what happens. Pennywise jumps out, and he chases him, and then that's it. Like nothing happens.
But the stupid thing is he chases him, and suddenly the guy suddenly opens the door.
Yeah, and it's just that's like, the kind of stuff of where they haven't quite perfected getting from one bit to the next bit. And definitely the last 20 minutes of it was just like, it's got nothing behind it. It's very shallow.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Would you recommend it though?
I don't... actually, I was saying to people even today, even
though we've just spoiled it for everybody who's listening, as always.
Yeah, we just spoiled it for everyone. I don't think I would recommend seeing it in the theatre, but like I said, I don't see a lot of horror anyway in the theatre.
Nah.
I would probably wait for the DVD release, but if you're intrigued by it, then go for it. But I don't think it's worth like the $20 or $15 cinema ticket.
No, it's not.
Personally, I don't think it is. So
no, it's just it has a higher quality level than a lot of those kind of Paranormal Activities or Annabelle or those Blumhouse kind of regular stuff, that kind of nonsense. So it looks like a good movie. It's got like we said, the kids are good actors. Skarsgård as Pennywise. There's some really cool things he does with it, but it's kind of like it's fine. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's not. It like you said right at the beginning, it's not going to be remembered. You're not going to be like, oh, do you remember in 2017 when the film released? You're not going to be like that.
Yeah, like the only thing that's great about it is the start with Georgie getting attacked, and I like that. Unlike the TV show, there was the money that they show it biting his arm off and then dragging the kid into the sewer.
It was a very good scene because like I was watching it and I was nervous. I was just like, this is good. Yeah. The way that he played the clown, and then actually one of my favorite moments after was he was kind of not running away but staggering away, and then the long arm just stretches out and I was like, oh, this is good.
I think that would have been a better way to go with this, because they're making it not a mixture of kid and adult. I think if they had just made Pennywise that freak that's just standing in the crowd kind of thing, and none of the adults could see him, and he's just terrorizing the kids that way, I think that would have been a better way to go, rather than like he can come out of the walls and he can turn into anything, and there's headless monsters and there's arms and all. I was like, just make him really simple, like that thing in the sewer, where he's just like, this thing is fucked. This thing is genuinely fucked.
Yeah, because even the girl in and the sink, and then all the blood, and then her father couldn't see it and stuff like that. But it was just like, it kind of,
it's so over the top.
Me
like,
when they play.
Like, there was blood everywhere.
It's very over the top.
And then they're like, the kids are cleaning, and I'm like, how are these kids cleaning this thing in 20 minutes? That's like a fucking 3-day job. It's all over the place. It's like slop.
Yeah, you want more scenes like where, remember the clown just waving at the kid.
Exactly, that's the stuff I love.
At the butcher's kind of thing. Yeah, you want that.
And then
that's the messed
all
up
the
shit.
little stuff in the background I loved, which, like when Bowers is being a psychopath and then he stabs his dad, and then on the TV it's Pennywise. Or
yeah, that was good. Actually, the TV stuff was good.
Yeah, everything about, like, I think that should have been the way to kind of make it make sense. It's like,
sure,
as the story goes on, it gets stronger because it's causing more mayhem. But never make it go to the point where it's turning into a giant monster, because you can save that for the second movie, so that when the parents come back, like, oh my god, it's even worse than we remembered. I don't know. There's just so much you could do with the book because of the premise of, like, what's real, what's fantasy, are things as bad as you think they are when you were a kid, and when you were a kid, did you exaggerate stuff and all this? And there's a lot of subtext you can put in there. But for this, it was just like, there's a monster, it kills one kid, and that's it. Oh no, it kills two kids, doesn't it? It kills the guy in the sewer, and it kills Georgie. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's what we see. Yeah, that's all we see, killing wise. And obviously, you see all these other people floating, and they allude to him killing a lot of more people. But what we actually see, and you don't even see the kid in the sewer. A little bit. You saw him in the house get dragged off later on.
Yeah, but even then, that's like, was that a hallucination, vision kind of thing?
It's true. Yeah, that's
like,
true.
apart from the Georgie attack where it bites his arm off, and the bit of violence, he stabbed the dad, and then there's blood. I'm like, this film, it's not really R-rated. It's not like out and out gore, and it's not super twisted. I don't know. Just, there was a lot of things that I didn't quite get, and the whole Beverly thing pissed me off at the end, which is like, she's the one who deals with her dad. She's the one who stabs it through the head, and then it kidnaps her for no reason. I'm like, why is it kidnapping her? It might just kill her. Like, that's one thing I didn't go, oh, he's gonna capture, and then he's gonna lure these other kids in. I'm like, from what I've seen of this creature, it can go anywhere at any time and attack them whenever it wants.
Yeah. So what's that going to do?
Yeah. Just kill her and then kill them as it comes in the sewer. Why keep her alive? Because they're like, oh, she's the strongest and she's not afraid. So she's floating there like a comatose patient.
I know. And then when I guess, like, it's so weird when he goes, you will be, and like his face kind of like inverted in, and he had all those teeth. I thought, okay, he's gonna fucking kill her. But then she just floats off. Yeah. I'm like, well, why is your face gone in like that?
What? Yeah, like what? That's the point of, like, there's a lot of things that you just have to realize that's not in the book. They're trying to fix a problem in the book, but they're not. There's a lot of foundation that wasn't built into the book, and Stephen King.
And then the kiss that kind of brought her back.
The kiss that brought her back, yeah. And it's just, what?
My a buddy of mine said in his when he went to see it at the theater, when that happened, everyone in the theater was just, literally, like, everyone was like, WTF? They were, what the hell was that? Yeah. There was like a bit of a sigh. So
it's a problem again. It's the book. The ending in the book is, spoiler for the book again, but no one's going to read it. It's a fucking brick. In the book, there's this very strange scene where all the boys have sex with Beth.
Yeah, yeah.
Like everyone's heard about it. It's doing all the rounds now and stuff. And like you can't put that in a movie. You can barely get away with that in a book. But trying to fix that, it's like the story there's no central story to it in the book. Like there's nothing that makes sense in the book. Like, oh, this is where the character starts, and then he goes on a journey and he finishes. There's just a lot of emotions and scenes and atmosphere that is very well done. So that's what the book skirts by. And I think somebody just needed to just grab this movie and just be like, this is what we're doing. We're doing a story like this. It's different than the book, but it makes sense. And they tried to do that where it's like, oh, Bill's looking for his little brother, and then at the end he sees his little brother and he goes, sorry, Georgie's dead, and he shoots him in the head with that cattle gun thing. But it's like that doesn't make sense because we know Georgie's dead. Yeah. So what? It's just it's the more I think about it, the more holes are in it.
Yeah, we're like picking it apart.
Yeah, but on the surface, it's fine. It's a good looking film, and it'll keep you entertained for an hour and a half or whatever.
Yeah, actually, I've got to say, you mentioned some of those other films like Paranormal Activity and all of those kind of things, and yeah, those guys don't have a cast to back it up. Like this one did have the cast to back it up, had some really good visuals, it was filmed great, so it definitely has a lot of pros as well. I just don't think I was hearing a lot of hype before I saw it. I don't think for me it hasn't lived up to that, but I always like to see it and make my own decision anyway. But
I think it just got a perfect release time because there's nothing else in the cinema right now.
Yeah, totally. I wonder if they must have purposely not wanted October, like Halloween time. I'm guessing there's lots of. I know Jigsaw's out at Halloween,
right?
But they're different types of films.
Yeah, because they're in the middle of like Kingsman's out this weekend, and then the Tom Cruise American Made is out. Kingsman's out now, and then next week it's American Made with Tom Cruise, and you stick it in the middle of that. You're kind of like, okay, that's a change. I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, it's good strategy, I guess. So
and like the film is set in around the end of the summertime, so it makes sense like that.
Yeah.
And then they changed a little detail where they said it comes back every 27 years because it's been 27 years since the TV movie came out.
That was cool. Cool.
So they've done a little bits here and there, but in general, I'm like, watch it when it becomes digital or streaming or something.
Yeah, wait for it to go into Netflix. So
yeah,
I'm sure Netflix will dig it up.
But I'd rather they keep making movies that are at least this good rather than Paranormal Activity 6 or whatever the fuck they're going.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Lights Out, all that bollocks.
Yeah, at least they're getting somewhere with it.
Yeah. Totally agree. So, yeah, I mean, we had some fun. We had some fun with it. So, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people at Halloween going as Pennywise.
And they're going to get a lot of people punched in the face.
Yes, they are. Actually, there's going to be a lot of kids with the yellow raincoat as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've seen that. Like a lot of people pulling jokes like that where they do the mannequins and shit, and they put the yellow raincoat on it with the balloon.
You got to do it all out, though. You got to have the arm ripped off.
Yeah, you got to have the arm ripped off. You have your little boat, the SS Georgie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely a little boat. Putting it down the stream. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I think I might do that.
That's all you got to do. Just like tomorrow, just make one of those little boats and leave it on the street, like just beside one of the storm drains, just to freak someone the fuck out.
I'm gonna do that, and then I'll just give someone a ring at work on like a payphone and just say,
"Oh, you know what you got? Yeah, you know what you got to do. You got to find a way of you put a weight on the bottom of a string, and then you get a red balloon, and you put it into the grate." And then somehow you got to get an air fan and just blow it up underneath the grate, and then you drop it, so the weight will keep it there, but the balloon will be floating. And then people can just like walk past and they'll just see a red balloon in the sewer, just freak them the fuck out. Oh my god,
that would be insane.
Oh my god, I'm gonna try that tomorrow. That's so good.
Let's execute that. Look out for it, Toronto.
Yeah, or if you want to be a real prick, the thing that's holding it down, the weight can be like a little recorder that every like 5 minutes just has it just repeats, and all you can hear on is like, we all float down here. We all float down here. Just someone walking past, popcorn, like, all right, popcorn. Running home, never leaving the house again. Yeah. Pop, 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 pop. Hey, Georgie. You just record like 60 different names, just like, hey, Bill. Hey, Sharon. Yeah. Just one time, it's going to be right. It's just one person walk past
to get it right. Yeah.
Like fuck.
Yeah. So
the new
good.
prank for Halloween. Just fuck your friends up.
Yeah, we're going to do a podcast just on pranks.
Yeah, we have to. And hopefully not get punched in the face.
Well, that's just good. That's going to
That's the risk you take. It's the risk you take.
Regardless.
Yeah, so that was it. That was our movie for the week.
Yeah. That was the It review.
I mentioned Assassin's Creed already. It's shit. Don't watch it.
Doesn't like it either. But yeah, let us know what you guys thought of it as well in the comments. This is obviously a spoiler review. We're at the end of it, so it's all, if you got here, it's been spoiled.
It's been spoiled. You know what's
let us
happened.
know what you think. And what's that?
Yeah, we've spoiled it, so you don't need to see it. We just saved you $20. Send that $20 over to our Patreon. Boom. Done. I don't know what happens. Every month I just send these assholes money and then they tell me the movies that I'm going to see. So we got to do a gaming.
Yeah, we do some gaming.
I have nothing with gaming except I'm getting excited for Star Wars. I saw another trailer.
I've got a few things for gaming.
Really? What have you got?
A few things.
Oh, I heard Destiny 2's out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what. There's actually quite a few things out. There's a good one that we should play. I'll get to it. Yeah, onto some gaming news. For myself, personally, I bought myself a new graphics card.
Oh, very nice.
For all the tech geeks out there, I bought a 1080 GTX, which is a pretty powerful graphics card for VR and then just ordinary gaming as well. So I'm able to play PUBG and obviously all the VR stuff we do at higher resolutions and stuff. So
I thought it was just pub. Now it's PUBG.
PUBG, I'm calling it PUBG because pub is just like, I told my brother, like, oh, I'm playing pub or something, and he was like, which one are you at? And I was like, no, I'm playing PUBG.
That's not the game's fault. That's just the problem you have with drinking, Al. That's what your brother's natural thing is. Oh, Al's out on the tear again.
He's out on the piss. Which pub are you at? So PUBG is grounds, I guess. PlayerUnknown, and then grounds. But yeah, that's what people are saying. But so it runs a lot of games very, very well. PUBG being one of them, but the VR. And then just onto PUBG itself, it is doing really well. So it sold over 10
Hang on,
million
it was already
copies.
doing really well last time we talked. It was like number 1 on bloody Steam. How much more really well can it do?
So it's the last they told us it was 10 million. It's got to be on 11 or 12 by now. But this is the big one. Is I mean, you mentioned number 1 on Steam, but it is, boom, officially from I think 3-4 days ago, the most played game on Steam. So the way they kind of judge that is how many users are playing it at one time. So even today, I think it broke the record again. So today, at some point today, it had 1,350,000 people playing.
Jesus.
At one point today.
All in the same game. It's just mayhem.
All in the same game. Yeah, one island, all those people.
You just turn around and punch, and you're hitting somebody. It's just wall to wall bodies.
Yeah. You've literally got like 100,000 people jumping out of a plane at each point. But yeah, it's just insane. But it's getting better and better. It's an early access game, as I've said. So I'm sure you'll know about it because we've talked about it and it's so popular. It is only for PC, but it's coming to Xbox first, eventually PlayStation 4. But there's so many people excited to play it on Xbox. Like when that comes to console, it's going to sell Xbox. Xbox One X and Xbox Ones and all of those. It's gonna sell them all, but yeah, it's still fun. I'm still playing it. I was playing it last night. Like I said, they're upgrading it all the time, so they've just added fog to it. So there's fog to the game. So every now and again you kind of you spawn, and it could be sunset. It could be well, they don't have nighttime, but it could be like raining. But fog is so heavy, so dense that scopes mean nothing. So it means that you can't really snipe at people. So you have to get down and dirty, and in the buildings or in the grass and actually fight people.
That sounds pretty cool.
I haven't seen a fog map yet. But anyway, that game is a killer game. If you've got a PC that can run it, go for it. With the new graphics card that I
was just wondering, when it's released proper, are people going to be able to start their own types of games, or is it always going to be automatic through the server?
I think they're going to be able to do their own types of games. They've got a lot planned. It's very ambitious. I'm just not sure when. They have said that it will be out before the end of the year. Like, they'll release the game and then they'll update it more from there. But I've even heard of like and I've seen on YouTube zombie modes. So there's a game where it's like you and I, and we're against 98 zombies, and the zombies are like 24 days later. 24 days? 28 days later. 28
days. God.
What the hell am I saying? 24. 28 days. So they're running at you like crazy fuckers. So like we could be in the middle of like the fields, and you could hear something, and we could have like literally 30 zombies just running towards us.
Oh, cool.
And then you got to reload and do all of that. So that's pretty sweet.
What if they mix the two or the zombies with regular play? So when you kill somebody, if you don't do a headshot, they come back.
That would be pretty sweet. Yeah, it's a bit like The Walking Dead, basically. Yeah. Then, one thing, with the new update as well, someone kind of on the PC, everyone hacks PC. Like they basically, when a game comes out, everyone will look at the files, look into the files, and say, hey, you can do this, or that's the cool thing about PC is like you can hack it up. It's a bit like with an Android. You can do a lot of things with Android phones because you can hack them up, and like iPhone, they're just it's a walled garden. So with the new update that came out for PUBG, people found a desert map in there, and we know that they're making one. But people were able to look at screenshots and also like an overhead view of it, so they're able to see some of the names. So that looks like it's going to be pretty fun. Very, very open. Not as many buildings, but the actual setting looks pretty sweet. Completely different to like the grass and stuff. So that will be fun. But yeah, that game is the most played game on Steam, which is just incredible. So good for the developers. And coming out on Xbox within, I'd say it's probably going to be a December thing. But that's going to be a great Christmas present for anyone. So.
Yeah. I was just thinking of the zombie mode again. It'd be great if you had regular game and then the zombies come back, so that you're left with the option that if you kill all the zombies, you get to win. So however many people are left, if they survive the zombie attack, they win, okay? All of them share a win.
Yeah.
If you kill all the regular humans, you win anyway. It's a regular chicken dinner, okay?
That would be pretty sweet, actually. Yeah, so you've got motivation to kind of finish the job.
Yes, but you're kind of in that. Then it becomes a very Walking Dead scenario of like, okay, we're all working together here in this house, but if I turn on everybody and kill them all and manage to survive this zombie attack, I win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you mean.
So you're down to like say 6 guys, and you're all like, hey, I'm gonna not shoot you, and you don't shoot me, and we'll try and kill the zombies, and we'll both get points for finishing the game. And then you're just like, yeah, I might do that, or I might shoot you in the back. And it's just that there's just that tension. You're looking at the window at the zombies, and you're kind of looking over your shoulder, being like, who's fucking in the other room? Who's in the other room? What's he doing? He's coming in.
That would be pretty sweet. There's actually one thing that I when I first played the game. The mics, so everyone's mics are global in the game, so you can hear everyone speak, and everyone tells you just to mute them, because especially at the beginning of the game, you're all 100 of you are on an island, and it's just like the lobby, so you can literally hear 100 people just talking. So you're just like, mute it, and you've always got those dickheads. But one thing, I've always muted mine, and ever since I played the game, I've always muted it. It's always been muted. However, when you're jumped out of the plane and everything, you should actually unmute it, because you can hear people. So if you walk into a building, like we have been on our Let's Plays and stuff, if the guy was talking, he could be like, hey, I'm upstairs, and you'll be able to hear him. So I've always had it muted, so I've never actually been able to hear that. I think it's more for squad play, because you actually be able to hear someone saying, hey, Bill, he's outside. Kind of thing like that. So
that kind of screws you over when you're playing on Twitch, doesn't it?
I don't think I even have my microphone set for voice chat. Like I just do it over Skype. Technically, I'm cheating in a way, because I'm talking over Team Play, but on a different channel.
You heard it here first, like folks. Alex is a cheater.
So I'm a cheater. But anyway, that's kind of cool. And there's lots of funny videos. But I watched a funny video where a guy was in a house, and there was 2 squad mates upstairs, and they were like, I can hear him downstairs. And then the guy's like, I'm just making a cup of tea. Would you like anything? And then, it's kind of funny because they wouldn't come downstairs because the guy just had his like aim on the staircase, and they were like, no thanks. And the other guy's like, I'll have some hot chocolate, please, and stuff like that. And it was just like kind of funny. And then someone just came through the door as they were two teams were talking, blew the guy downstairs away that was making the cup of tea, and then you could hear the other two going like, "What the fuck just happened?" So, I'm like, I might turn my voice on actually.
Okay, yeah, that'd be a good streaming for Twitch.
Yeah, definitely.
So what else is out this month, week?
We all loved PUBG. Our good friends Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch just got 2 games, big games announced for it. So Doom, they remade Doom earlier on this year. Fantastic game. I played it, downloaded it. They announced that for Switch, which is awesome because the Switch is portable. Take that on the go. You can play it on your TV. But you can play this 2017 version of Doom, and it looks great, and it's a super gruesome game. That's really, really big news. And then for us, next month, we get Wolfenstein 2, which looks friggin' awesome.
Oh, that's on VR, isn't it?
Wolfenstein isn't on
Doom.
VR.
Doom, you said, was coming to VR.
Doom is coming to VR at Christmas,
okay.
So we'll definitely do a thing of that. But Wolfenstein 2 is coming out next month for us. They announced that for Switch as well, which is awesome. The only downside is it's next year. They just need to work on it a bit more.
Right.
But the fact that these like AAA, really good, like high quality games are coming to Switch, it's actually like the best Switch news you can get because it means that developers are starting to support it. It's not just Nintendo and like Ubisoft, just like producing games for it, because that's what happened with the Nintendo, the old console. It was just Nintendo making the games, so they can't survive with that. You need Assassin's Creed on it. You need Battlefield on it. You need these games. So it's awesome to see Doom's coming to it, Wolfenstein, and hopefully a lot more. Like FIFA's 18's coming out on it, and stuff like that. So, and the fact that all of these games you can play on the go, like that's what the Switch is so awesome about. Like I know you're going to be traveling a lot soon. The fact that you could play FIFA 18 or Doom as you're on the plane, or if you're in the hotel, that's pretty appealing. So that's pretty sweet.
It's got that nice little feature. You just unhook it, put it back in the box. You're still playing the same game. And the fact that people don't have to keep playing Zelda, that's gonna help. You don't have to play Zelda for fucking. That's gonna
6 help
years.
A little bit, yeah. And then also they've got their good old Mario Odyssey, which is basically the true sequel to Mario 64, and that's coming out in November as well. So Nintendo have had a good year. They've had a good year.
Cool. Well, at least it's good. It's good that anybody is jumping on board with it, because that will help them compared to just like you said, just Nintendo making Nintendo games, because there's only so many they can make.
They wouldn't be able to survive because they'll only be able to pump out like 2, maybe 3 quality ones a year, and that's not what people want. They want a Mario, they want a Zelda, they want like a mushroom game, whatever. In between that, you want your your Assassin's Creeds and your Battlefields and your horror games and stuff.
Yeah, like this is what we talked about last time with Xbox's issue being, you get the regular games, you get with everything. You get your Batman, you get your Star Wars, you get your whatever,
totally.
But they don't have. Microsoft haven't quite nailed down the games that are going in between that make their console its own unique beast. Yeah. And they've
got their Gears of War, their Forza, and I don't even know what else.
Halo.
But it's getting a bit boring now. It's just like, okay, every year it's a Gears of War. Every other year it's a Gears. It's a Gears of War, a Halo, and a Forza.
Yeah. So Microsoft have to stop making Gears, and they have to get some new exclusives in there. Because Nintendo have it built in. They've got Mario sewn up, and they've got all that whole branding on that side of it. They're just like, oh yeah, this is Nintendo through and through. So they don't have to really worry about having the exclusives. Their problem is the other way around, where they have to get the general games that everybody likes playing.
They need to get, they call it third parties. They need to get the third parties. They've always struggled with third parties, but the console's selling, and people, like Doom is a good example of that, and there's going to be a lot of Switch users that are going to buy Doom. You could also argue that Switch is very kid-friendly, and Doom is an incredibly violent game, so maybe it won't sell well because people are looking.
Pokemon on the Pokemon's not coming out on the Pokemon Go. Is that coming out on the Pokemon Go? It sounds so old. The Pokemon Go. All those kids are playing.
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, is that?
It's It's definitely going to come out, but it's actually still on the DS. It came out recently on the DS, and Nintendo are actually still supporting their little handheld DS just for like another year or two. So they're kind of pushing it on that, and then they'll push it on the Switch later.
So they're kind of competing with themselves again.
Yeah, in a way they are actually. Yeah, and I guess the smartphone market. But yeah, good on them. It's good to see. Switch doing well. So, and it's not just Zelda.
It's not just Zelda.
What's the other stuff?
I don't know. What is the other stuff?
A couple of other things. What is the other stuff? A couple of other things. If you're into driving games, me not so much, but I wanted to mention it because it's a really big driving year. So we've got Forza 7, which is what the Xbox is great at. So Forza 7 is coming out next week. The demo came out yesterday on Xbox and PC. So you got Forza 7, super awesome, very realistic driving game. You've got on the PlayStation, you've got Gran Tourismo, very, very popular in Europe. Same driving simulator. It's very similar to Forza 7. And then you've got this other one called Project Cars 2. So there's all three of them. Project Cars 2 came out, I think, today. They're all coming out within a month of each other. But it's just, it's crazy. Like, because usually you only get like one or the other. But yeah, having all three come out in 1 year and within a month. So you've got, everyone's got like a lot of picks to go there. They're all actually pretty similar, like driving simulators. It's not like it's a dirt rally track or something, or some kind of loop-to-loop insane track thing. It's all realistic driving sim.
They map the proper courses from like F1 tracks.
Oh, they go to town. They make sure the steering wheel has the texture and it has the fiber and everything on it, and like getting into the cars. And now they're starting to get so realistic. When it rains, you've got the windshield wiper, and you can, if you put the view in your car, it actually like brushes off the raindrops. But then when you turn left to turn right, the raindrops will sway in the way that you're going.
Very cool.
Off the windscreen. It's just insane. So all three of them are excellent. I don't know which one's going to come out the champion, but I think right now that Forza is ahead of them because it's just got such a good brand name for itself. Gran Turismo has that as well. However, it just takes so long. Like, there hasn't been a Gran Turismo for like 5 years, whereas Forza is like pretty much every year. So they've just got, I think they've got a slightly bigger name now. So, but yeah, if you're into your cars, those games are coming out real soon. This is a cool one. This is one that we're going to play for sure. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So it's the Marvel universe and the Capcom universe just like battling out. Came out on Tuesday. It's out on PlayStation 4 and it's out on PC.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. You can be the guy from Devil May Cry. You can be Mega Man. You could be Ryu from Street Fighter.
That's not really fair. Mega Man's just got a gun for a hand. You just shoot Ryu in the face. There you did. Fight over. But
you could be all the Marvel characters. You could be Rocket. You could be Doctor Strange. There's lots of cool, like Captain America and Iron Man and everyone. So you could be all those guys and battle. So I was reading up on the game, and they were saying there's one really bad thing about it, and there's one great thing. The bad thing is the graphics apparently are just piss poor. It's like this thing could have been running on like an N64 or something. Like, they're saying it's just not the best graphics, but you can overlook that because the gameplay, the way you fight, is super fun. But they actually added a really cool mechanic, which I loved the sound of, and I think we're going to really enjoy. So say like I choose Iron Man, and you choose Ryu from Street Fighter or something like that, and we're like, okay, we're going to fight against each other. But then here's the cool thing: is you can choose an Infinity Stone. So when you choose an Infinity Stone, it allows you to affect time or whatever the one you choose.
Yeah.
So and it's only when like your power bar I think gets high enough then you can activate it. So I kind of like that. So it's like, hey, I'm going to be Ryu, but as soon as I activate the purple Infinity Stone, I'm going to be able to do this. Or I've chosen the green one, so I'm going to slow down time or something.
Yeah.
But it introduces a new dynamic for every character, because you could do that with Mega Man or you could do that with Rocket. So apparently that's super cool, and it's pretty addictive as well.
Yeah, apart from piss poor graphics. So it's not going to really compete with Injustice on graphics, but maybe on the gameplay it's going to be a little bit more fun. Well, not that Injustice is a lot of fun.
Yeah, just one of those things where like I can see us both battling out, and like you almost kill me or something, and then suddenly I activate like an Infinity Stone, and it's like, yes, come on.
Yeah, we already established you're a cheater.
I like to cheat. And then lastly, I just had I had two last things here. One of them was a game that I'm looking forward to. It's coming out on the Xbox and it's coming out on PC. It is exclusive to Xbox and PC as well, so you won't see it on the PS4 or Switch. And it's called Sea of Thieves, and it's a pirate game, and it just looks so fun. So you've got a team of 4, I think, so it could be you, me, 2 others, and you've got a pirate ship, and you're just going across the seas. You got to look this up, by the way, because the water in this game is incredible. The best water I've seen in any computer game. You're off.
This is what's getting you excited
sea.
about. It's not like anything else. Just the water looks really watery.
You've got to see the water, man, and this is the big thing. It's made by Rare. These guys did Banjo-Kazooie. They did GoldenEye, the games like those. So they know what they're doing. And you're basically a pirate with your team of 4, and you've got to go across. You start a map with 3 other ships and they've got 4 people on each. And at the beginning of it, it says, "Hey, you got to find some treasure." And each of you get like a piece of a map and like an X, and it says like, or a puzzle or a riddle, and it says you got to go here and there, and you got to find out where the treasure is. So there's like all these teams trying to find it. If you see each other while you're in the water, you got to load your cannons and shoot at them. Your ship can get hull damage, so you have to go downstairs and repair it. Otherwise, water does come in, and you've got 3 levels to your ship that you can go down, and you got to repair it. But while you're repairing it, you've got to get someone else to load the cannonballs, and then you've got to get someone to shoot. You've also got to get someone to steer, and then whoever is steering the boat, once your sails are down, they actually block your vision. So you need someone up top or at the front to guide you.
Right.
It's just like team play is at the maximum.
So is the team play is it first person?
It is first person.
Okay.
Yeah. You've just got to look it up. Look it up after this or whatever. But the art style of the game has got this very cute cartoon / realistic feel to it. And yeah, it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to come out early next year, and it's going to be cross-play as well. By cross-play, I mean Xbox will be able to play with PC, which is great.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, it'd be fun to check that one out.
Super fun game, and you can you could do silly things in it. You can go to a bar and you can download. You can drink a beer at the bar, and if you have say 2 or 3 of them, then your character like seriously sways. And then if he sways too much and you walk too much, he throws up. Little things like that. You can play.
See, this is why people think you have a drinking problem, Alex. Even when you're playing video games, you're like, but you can go to the bar and the water looks so watery. Bar. It's got everything I need.
Do it. You can play music as well. So while
drunk,
you all choose. Yeah, you could. Well, that's what a lot of people do on the streams as well. So anyway, that one's on my radar, and that's one's early next year.
Cool.
And then lastly,
no, you said lastly already, so you can't have 2 lastlies.
Lastly and lastly.
Double lastly.
Again. Double lastly. Is Call of Duty. Call of Duty have got a new...
Never heard of it.
New game coming out. It is coming out, I think it's November. However, they released their story trailer for it. And man, this looks like a bloody film. Like, it looks like a film. So when you look at the thumbnails...
This is the one where they're
YouTube,
going back to World War II, isn't it?
That's the one, yeah. But there's a story trailer that came out 2 days ago, and if you look at the thumbnails, just before you even click on it, you're like, oh, that's something from Saving Private Ryan or something like that. It's like, no. It's like they have got that nitty-gritty. They've got the voice acting. They've got the actors. It's really good. Really, really good. So,
and that's coming out across all platforms, isn't it? Xbox, PlayStation.
That one's, apart from Switch, it hasn't been announced for Switch. But,
poor old Switch.
Yeah, they've got Doom.
They got Doom.
But anyway, I'm super impressed with like how that looks. Like Battlefield, when they released their single player trailer last year, I was like, oh yeah, that looks cool. But it had like very colourful kind of tones to it, whereas this Call of Duty, it's like very nitty gritty. A bit like, you know, how DC do with their films. They've got that kind of grayscale thing going on.
Yeah.
It's got that going on, so it's very realistic looking computer game. But yeah, it's one of the first games where I've looked at it and I've had to double take the screenshot in a YouTube thumbnail because I've been like, holy shit, that's the game.
That's impressive.
Wow, you know?
That's good.
Yeah. So watch out for that. That is coming in hot.
That's November.
But yeah,
cool.
that's pretty much
Cool.
Pretty much the roundup of gaming news.
And I think that rounds up everything then, because that's all we do, apart from when we talk.
That's
bollocks.
all we do. It is indeed. It's been a pleasure serving you guys.
Yeah.
But,
we have no letters this week.
Yeah, let us know.
A couple of people were asking questions like, "Are we making more videos in future? Am I making more videos on movies?" Like, yeah, we are. It's been a mental summer. There's been a lot of activity, but probably in the next month or so, things will start to shift and we'll start having a lot more stuff going out there. Like a new commentary. We're having a new commentary coming out in a week or so.
Yeah, big time.
And Alex might fix the thing that's wrong with iTunes for some of you. We don't know. He might not.
We'll see.
We'll see. If
we'll
not,
see if we can,
fuck Apple.
We'll see if we can do it. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And let us know if you want a topic for us to talk about or any feedback. But yeah, it's been a pleasure.
For sure. Thanks for listening, guys. Always fun to have you guys
All
here.
right, guys.
Well, not here, there.
Boom. Boom.